What's up, guys? On this week's show,
Creed 2 review,
the Lion King trailer,
and bringing Back to the Future?
plus
Ask Us Anything.
all that and more on this episode
Of One Giant Leap for Geeks.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for
Geeks. Welcome to another episode of OGLFG, where we talk about movies, video games, and all things in geek culture. I'm your host, Mike C. Squared, and with me is my co-host, DJ Melly Mel.
Hey!
We actually have two special guests on with us this week. We have T-Money.
Hey, what's up?
And we have my girlfriend, Amber.
Hey.
Before we get started, though, I wanted to just let you guys know, if you like what we do here and you find this mildly entertaining, I guess, go ahead and tell your friends about us. Tell them, I'm Batman. But no, go ahead,
I'm Batman.
Right. Share, give us a like, all that fun stuff. Reviews are very much appreciated. Just try to, get our names out there and just let people know, like, hey, you should be listening to them. We're the best podcast that you've never heard of.
I like that.
But if you want to get a hold of us, though, we're on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks. You can also get a hold of DJ Mellymel at Froggy Beaver. And if you want to talk to Benoit, he is at Benoit Gaming on Twitter.
He will not be joining us this evening. He's having technical difficulties.
Yes. Unfortunately, Benoit is having some issues with the interwebs right now, so he is unfortunately going to be on hiatus this week. But I was able to wrangle in two other people, so you got more geeky goodness than what you normally get in a week. So there's that.
Anybody else super geeked?
Just you.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Before we get started this week into the topics, what you been doing?
Working and trying not to pull my hair out.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Okay.
these people are driving me nuts this week.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. All right.
We went and saw Creed 2.
We did?
We did?
No, I'm kidding. Yes, we did. Yes.
We, and you, me, T-Money, a few other friends.
Yeah, Amber
Unfortunately
was under the weather, so she didn't go with us, but still. Anything else?
We went Black Friday shopping.
Word, yeah, which we're going to talk about Black Friday, too, yeah.
I got everybody's present done, paid for, wrapped, and under the tree, except for one, and it's coming in tomorrow, so.
See, you're on top of your shit. I'm like, I never even start until, like, late December, so it's like Christmas Eve, and I'm like, I gotta buy some shit. No.
Well, that's usually us. But I was like, hey, if I can get it for cheaper, then I'm going to go to Black Friday. And we did it while everybody else was still in the food coma.
Yeah, right.
Thursday,
right.
so
We did really well, actually. We got in and out of Walmart on Thanksgiving
about 2 hours.
in about 2 hours. And we got stuff for everybody.
Nice.
And I didn't have to beat anybody down for a towel.
Right, I didn't have to kill no bitch and shit to get some, hand
The
towels.
shank did not make it out this year, so we're good. We're good.
Good.
What about yourself?
I have not been working out this week.
Nah.
I've been doing good, though. I've been on a kick for the last few weeks, and I've been trying to, maintain a regimen, and then I just completely threw it out the window this week.
Thanksgiving happened.
I want to keep using that as an excuse, but it's still an excuse, but still.
I don't care.
I'm trying
From
to get back on track.
Halloween to the New Year. Fuck it.
Yeah, trying to lose
Throw them whole
any
2
kind of
months
weight.
out the window.
Just
Just
fuck
fuck it. But no, other than that, just getting yelled at by old women.
Yeah.
That's pretty much been, 'cause,
Yeah, I've been there.
You're welcome.
For those who don't know, I work in retail, and I was unfortunately there for Black Friday, and
It was a nightmare.
you would be surprised how bitchy 65-plus-year-old women can get, about silly shit. Matter of fact,
Honey, you know what kind of job I do, right?
true.
I get bitched out at all the time by
True.
65-year-old women. I get it.
It's funny. Just for a quick example, I had a lady ask me over the weekend why we did, or if we had a coffee place, And I'm like, yeah, there's a Starbucks right on the main road, not
Sure.
even a half a mile from the mall. And she's like, we're walking, And I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to know how you got here? I'm like, I don't fucking, like,
You
what?
walk to that
You just
Starbucks.
in my store.
Right, I'm like, I don't fucking know your transportation situation. Like, what kind of shit? And I was just like, well, that's the closest one. There's the Dunkin' Donuts down the road, too. And she's
I'd have been like, there's a gas station right there.
right.
They got great coffee.
Bitch, there's a 7-Eleven. Go get you a Starbucks and shut the fuck up. But no, and then she goes, well, you need to tell the mall management that they need to get a coffee place out here because people want to drink coffee. And I'm like, and I literally said to her, I was like, you know what? You're right. Once I tell them, they'll be all over it. You just wait. I'm like, I don't think you understand how businesses work. They can't just build some shit and be like, here you go. I'm like, somebody actually wants to have to come here and pay a lease to be here and all that fun shit. Yeah. So, if I sound a little bit more cynical than usual this week, it's because, I'm over just human beings in general. So I got Francine to keep me company. Anyway. So for the first thing that we're going to talk about, I have to eat crow from last week because I quote said, of all the Disney remakes that are coming out so far, that I am the most excited for Dumbo.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to recant that statement because if, I don't know, you maybe been living under a rock or something for the last week and did not know that a trailer for The Lion King came out, but yeah, it's the real fucking deal. Like,
Came home like you were 5 years old, wanted to watch that.
pretty damn much.
Wait
pretty
a minute.
much.
Did I see the trailer before you did?
You sent me the link, but I was at work, so I didn't get a chance to watch it. I tried to start, but I couldn't. We don't have Wi-Fi in my store, and my signal wasn't catching good, so I couldn't really watch it the way I wanted to. Plus, I wanted to see it on my TV and
Sure,
like full-on glory HD and all that shit, and wow. Okay, so The Lion King is probably my favorite Disney movie.
As is mine. One of, yes.
I think my second favorite is probably The Little Mermaid,
Okay.
but The Lion King is definitely like my number one.
What's your number 3?
I want to say Aladdin,
Okay, those are my top 3 too.
but it could be 101 Dalmatians. I'm not sure.
Close fourth.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go with. Anyways,
One of those two. They're pretty interchangeable, but I literally hate all the sequels to it. I hate The Lion King 2.
yes.
I hate The Lion King 1.5.
Yes.
If you can see the face that Amber's making right now.
I thought they were stupid.
Yeah,
I
thank
love
you.
1.5.
I
Really?
didn't.
Well, I know, but I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Go ahead.
I do. I love it.
Why?
Oh, I like the music. Little dig song.
Yeah, but the story is stupid.
No, it's not.
All
Yeah.
right.
Timon and Pumbaa sitting in the movie theater.
Anyways, please continue.
Anyway.
She's having a childgasm
Yeah,
over here.
no. Just looking at it though, it looks gorgeous. Like the CG special effects and shit, like it looks really good. I still haven't seen anything to the point where I was like, oh, that looks real. Like you can still tell it's CG, but it's really well done CG, so it looks real enough.
Yeah.
I don't need it to be like photorealistic, but close enough is good. And you can tell that they put a lot of money behind it, and they didn't go like the cheap route because, to be fair, a lot of these Disney remakes are cash grabs. Like they don't need to make these movies, and they're only doing it to get on nostalgia and shit. But I'm like, hey, as long as it's well made, I won't complain.
Right.
I am kind of mad though because The Jungle Book came out before this, and it kind of took some of the wow factor away from me. Because when The Jungle Book came out and I saw that, I was like, wow, this looks really good. Like, I was really impressed with, like, the character designs and, like, how they brought them to life for the CG version. Even the Ka, the snake and shit, like, that looked really cool. So it kind of, it wasn't as impressive when they did it with The Lion King, because I was like, well, I've kind of already seen them do this, and we got the Planet of the Apes movies and shit, so it's like, it's...
Now you got something to compare it to.
Right, exactly. You know, if this was the first, I'd be like, oh my god, like, but now it's like, it's still cool, but it's not...
It's been done already.
Yeah, right. It's not to the level where I should have been, but still, not taken away from it. Also, the Jungle Book kind of stole the Stampede scene, so the one in this movie is going to have to be, like, really, really good, because there's a scene in the Jungle Book movie, if you haven't seen it, where there's, like, a wildebeest stampede or some shit like that, and Mowgli, like, grabs a hold of one of them and, like, takes off with it and shit, because he's running from, Shere Khan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, it looks cool and shit, but there's the iconic stampede scene where Mufasa gets killed in The Lion King, and I'm just like, you know, y'all gonna have to really go all out, because Jon Favreau, the guy who directed the Jungle Book, is also doing The Lion King. So it's the same guy doing both of these movies, so now he's gonna have to outdo what he did in that last movie.
Right. We want it to be similar, but still recognizable from The Lion King, and not just, oh, hey, we're gonna flash up 2 stampede scenes. Pick which movie is from which.
Right, exactly. Yeah. The one with the human or the one with the, you know, lion cub and shit. I made this joke to T-Money and DJ Melly Mel when we went to go see Creed 2, but I still stand by what I said. Every black person who was not in Black Panther got picked up to be in The Lion King. Because I made the joke when Black Panther came out. I was like, if you black and you in Hollywood and you didn't get into Black Panther, you must have pissed somebody off at some point. Because they had everybody in Black Panther. Donald Glover, we got Beyonce,
James Earl Jones,
which, how much better would Black Panther have been if James Earl Jones would have been T'Challa?
Yes!
That would have been dope as hell. But anyway,
dude,
we're not gonna rewrite the movie, but still, he should have been Black Panther, like OG Black Panther.
Grandpa Panther,
Gray Panther, no,
Salt and Pepper Panther.
God, yeah. Who doesn't love seasoning? But
salt and pepper is not seasoning.
I knew it was coming.
Damn.
But I will say, I've seen some people talk about online that they feel it's too similar to the original cartoon, because they're like, oh, well, they're just remaking the same movie again. And I'm like, well,
isn't that what they do?
Oh, wow.
It's a remake.
Kind of how it works.
Now, granted, I'm sure once we see the full trailer or the full movie, there will be scenes and different circumstances and stuff in the movie that's not in the original cartoon.
Sure.
But at the same time, it's like, if you change it too much from what it was...
It's not The Lion King.
Right, it's not The Lion King anymore. It's like, when you adapt a book, if they made the Harry Potter books and just made them completely different than the book, you'd be like, well, you're not making this anymore. Like,
right.
Just because it was a cartoon doesn't mean you can't translate that to a live-action movie and just do it again. If they don't change anything, I'm good.
Me too, you know?
The story is good. I mean, it's basically based off of fucking, I think it's Hamlet.
Yeah.
You know, the Shakespeare play. So I'm like, it's fine as it is. You don't need to reinvent the wheel.
If they change too much of it, I'm not going to like it.
Yes, exactly.
It goes back to that nostalgia thing. You know, they're making it for nostalgia. All of us that are grown up with The Lion King, we've all watched Lion King since we were younger. If you are changing, you know, you got Mufasa doesn't die, or, you know, Scar runs just away, or something.
Scar's a good guy.
Scar's a good guy.
You know?
Yeah.
Right, it's like,
you're going to piss off a whole generation of people, and your movie's going to flop.
I agree. Also, too, I think that, I don't know, like, people have gotten so spoiled because we're getting all these movies being remade from our childhood and shit that we never thought that we'd see.
Right.
You know, and I think we've gotten so spoiled to the point where it's like now they're just kind of nitpicking shit. Like, oh, well, they're doing I'm just...
Nice impression.
Like yeah, thank you. Yeah. That is my impression of the internet. But, I mean, honestly, if this would have came out 10, 15 years ago, people be like, oh my god, I can't believe that. But nowadays, it's like, it's kind of like, it's been done. Like I said, the Jungle Book and shit like that kind of, you know, ruined it, I guess, so to speak. So, but
yeah,
I mean,
it just depends on what side of the fence you want to look at it.
Yeah.
Either it's, hey, we can't come up with any other new ideas, so we're going to keep remaking old childhood movies, or and bring the nostalgia out in you and pick a side.
Which is fine. I mean, I'm fine with that. I am curious though. This is the one thing that I'm curious and scared for. Are they going to try and like modernize the songs?
God, I hope not.
Especially because they got Beyonce and Donald Glover in this shit. Like, I don't want them to start like bass dropping in the middle of the song and shit, and then Donald Glover starts rapping as Simba and shit. Like, I don't need that. I don't need him to do it in a Hakuna Matata rap or anything like that. It might be dope, but Lil Wayne, come out, tell me.
Oh my god. Nobody's asking for that.
Oh man.
They're still in production, so let's not give them any ideas.
Yeah, so Disney, if you're listening, don't fucking like put no electro dubstep shit. Like, I don't need during the stampede it's all like boom 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 pom pom pom. Like, I don't need none of that.
DJ Khaled!
We the best! Like, no, I don't need none of that.
It's the remix!
I don't need none of that shit. So please, Disney, just, if you're gonna do the songs, just get new people to sing it. Like, if you want Lady Gaga to sing Circle of Life, I can live with that. That's fine. But don't do it all. Like, we gotta be cool with the kids now and the Logan Paul crowd and all that shit. Like, I don't need that.
No, I think we'll do really good. You said Lady Gaga. I think Sabrina Carpenter would do a really good modern version.
Okay.
You know,
I'll give you that. Okay. Anything else on this particular trailer before we jump off? Like, any highs, any lows, any things that you noticed or anything like that?
I know.
Oh, yes.
Whenever they was doing the very beginning scene and they had Simba up above showing him everywhere, he looked scared as hell. Like, he was just like, please don't drop me. I don't want to die today.
No, he was very cute, but he looks terrified.
He's like, this monkey's gonna kill me!
Right. He's like, the fuck y'all gonna just pat me off this goddamn orangutan and shit? Like, what the
He
fuck?
said, the antelope gonna eat me in a little bit because I'm about to die.
Well, like, he already spreading dirt all on my forehead and shit and throwing me off the rock.
Be like, Mama, you letting this fool do this to me? What the hell?
I still think the most powerful moment in the very beginning of the original movie and probably in this is when they do show Simba to the animal kingdom and they all bow and shit. They were showing like the giraffe. I was like, that's cool. There's something about that just looks really cool. And I was just like, that the feels. The feels. And like Mel said, you were, excited that they got James Earl Jones to come back and do the voice from Mufasa.
Absolutely. There's a internet meme going around that says, "Thank you, James Earl Jones, for living long enough to be Mufasa again, because nobody else could do it."
Yes, that is true.
Now, if we lose James Earl Jones before they finish this fucking movie, I'm gonna cry.
They just better do.
They just gonna take his voice from the original and kind of amplify it a little,
splice it in there.
We'll be good.
I can live with that
because ain't nobody else gonna be Mufasa. They can't. It's just not in the cards. Yeah,
because the moment his voice comes up in the trailer and he's like, everything the light touches. I was like, oh my god, yes!
I honestly thought when I first saw the trailer, I was like, they just are playing the original over.
He's 87.
Oh shit, yeah.
Slow your roll.
Yeah, I know.
He's 87.
Damn.
The movie comes out in summer, okay?
Right.
If he can make it to August,
we're
good.
Put him on life support.
I think my one low was I kind of wanted like Matthew Broderick to be Simba again.
I feel where you're coming from, but then it would be even more weird because it was always weird to me that James Earl Jones is Matthew Broderick's father in the original Lion King, then Jonathan Taylor Thomas I think is young Simba too. Yeah. So it makes more sense because it's like, look, this is in Africa, goddammit. Like, we got to get some black people to be in this goddamn.
Hey, they got white people in Africa too, goddammit.
That's true. They got Zazu.
Actually,
the bird.
What's crazy is like South Africa has more white people than black people.
That is true. For a whole bunch of fucked up reasons, but that is true.
I'm just saying.
No, right. He's like, to be fair, I'm just saying.
Say Pumbaa's a white guy.
Timon and Pumbaa, actually. Yeah.
Yep, Timon's a
But I
white
don't know,
guy.
like, whenever I think of Simba, I just have that one voice. It's kind of like with James Earl Jones.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
you think of that one voice, and when I think
get
of
it.
Simba, I think of that voice. So it's going to be, I don't know, it's just going to be weird to me to hear Simba in Donald Glover's voice.
I'm interested to see what's going to happen, because you know what they're going to
it
do.
might be good, but
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
same
because you
time,
know what's going to
it's-
happen. It's going to be, like I said, instead of like an Hakuna Matata rap, it's just going to be like, he's going to like, come back to the Pride Land, and they're going to be like, oh, Simba's not dead, and he's coming back to, reclaim his place at the throne.
Uh-huh.
And he's going to be like, this is Africa. Amber got that joke. Thank you. Thank you. Instead of the This is America song, yeah. Anyway, that was a terrible joke. But I'm glad you laughed at it. Thank you. Anyway, all right, moving on. They're making Bad Boys 3 for some goddamn god-awful reason.
They've been making
Running
Bad
with
Boys.
Bad
too.
Boys.
They say, hey, look, bad boys for life. Okay.
Oh my god, okay. This is usually a joke on the internet when they put the number in the title for the movie, but they legit, it's Bad Boys for Life with a backwards, or with a
that really
3
what it's called?
instead of an E. Yes, Bad Boys for Life 3.
We just need to stop now.
Oh yeah, now it's cool to make fun of it, huh? Yeah, yeah. No, okay. I love the first Bad Boys.
Absolutely.
I cannot stand Bad Boys 2. The only thing good that came out of
Blasphemy.
Bad Boys 2 was that fucking song.
Shake your tail feather.
Yeah, that was the
Blasphemy.
only thing good that
Blasphemy.
came out of Bad Boys 2. Other than that, that movie was
Man.
straight fucking hell.
The sister coming out the water wasn't good enough for you? Gabrielle Union in a
Yes,
bikini?
that's cool, but for one, I don't think it's as funny as the first one. I think it's way too... It's like Michael Bay at like his most Michael Bay-ish. Because in the first one, he was kind of like contained.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't think they had as a big as budget as they did for the second
Sure.
movie. So when he does the second one, he just goes all out. It's slow motion bullets and shit, and everything's exploding every 5 minutes. And I don't know, it doesn't have the same charm as the first one did to me.
Uh-huh.
Like the whole scene where Martin Lawrence is trying to meet Téa Leone's character for the first time, and
Yeah.
he's pretending he's Will Smith.
Yeah.
And he's like practicing outside the door. He's like, I'm Mike,
Lowry.
Lowry. Mike Lowry. And like that is funny. Or the part where he was like, yeah, well, I woke up with a Power Ranger in my ass this morning. Or when he's talking about Mike's Porsche.
Yeah.
And how he's like, it's just a big black shiny dick and we just the balls dragging the fucking lawn. All those jokes are funny. Tell me one joke from Bad Boys 2. Thank you. I'll rest my case, Your Honor.
Hold on.
So,
You mean
wait.
like, somebody shot you, Mike? Yeah, that was you. You shot me. No, somebody shot you in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was you. Damn! Somebody shot you. I shot you? I shot you in the ass? Well, at least it got the meat and it missed the hole.
You know, that part is kind of funny. I'll
Dude,
give
that
it-
whole fucking movie is funny. I like the part 2 way better than the part 1.
I'm sitting there thinking about Bad Boys 3, and they talking about how like they getting like really, they up in age now and everything. It's like, how you think the whole theme of the storyline for that movie is gonna be? They're gonna be like, they're gonna go and they're just gonna be the like the captain.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, y'all still detectives? Like, what the fuck?
It'd be like that scene from Lethal Weapon. Well, hello, Captain. Hello, Captain. Hi, Captain. You're the captain. No, you're the captain.
Wait, no, okay.
Yeah.
They're gonna have a bunch of jokes about them being like grandfathers now because the kids are probably having babies and all. And it's just like, do we need this? Okay, so first question, first and foremost, has the buddy cop genre seen its day? What is the last buddy cop movie you seen? Do not say Rush Hour. That you thought was good.
What's that one with The Rock in it? And Kevin Hart.
Central Intelligence.
I like that one.
That was pretty good.
Is that a buddy cop movie? Because he's not a cop.
He's a...
Only The Rock is.
Well, who cares?
I care because that's the theme of the movie. It's a buddy cop movie. They have to both be
He
cops.
wants to be a cop.
Whatever.
Lethal Weapon.
I know. I was like, see, and that's even before Rush Hour. I just think that genre has seen its day. Like, there was a time for that, and now, especially with all the police brutality and shit you see on YouTube, you don't need to see two cops running around beating the shit out of motherfuckers, blowing up half the city and shit.
It's not a movie, but 5-0.
Hawaii 5-0.
No,
They're cops.
that's a show, and
I
that's
said it's not a movie.
And I said it had to be good too.
It
I
is
always say I can think of one, but it wasn't good.
What?
The other guys with Will Ferrell and
That
Mark
was the one
Wahlberg.
I was trying to think
Actually, I do like that one. Yeah, with
Hate
The Rock and
that
Sam
movie.
Jackson. They died
Okay.
at the beginning. Yeah.
Hate that
If they
movie.
could have made a movie about The Rock and Sam Jackson's character,
Hell
I would
yeah!
have loved it even more.
That
but
would have been better.
It's okay.
But I don't like Will Ferrell, so I'm kind of biased.
But I mean, and I don't really all that much either.
But-
But just in general,
I
like
can't
do
be
you
friends
think
with
that
you
there's still legs for this kind of movie? Like, do you think that they can still keep making buddy cop movies like that and
I
still
think-
be accepted the same way?
I don't think it'll be accepted the same way because that whole buddy cop thing is not a thing anymore. Like, cops have their partners, but
Yeah.
like you said, it's more focused on the police brutality and like the police as a whole, as opposed to just individual teams of police officers.
Do you remember Cop Out? Did you ever see that with Bruce Willis and
With
Tracy
Morgan, yeah.
Trash. Movie, but that's just not a good movie in general.
All about the Benjamins.
They weren't cops in
Yeah,
that one.
well,
though.
no. But
One of
that
them
is
was a
good movie,
criminal
though.
and the
Yeah.
other one was the cop.
I don't know. Like I'm not sure who wants this movie at this point though either.
I mean,
Because
be
before
fair,
I
I
brought
kinda
this up for
do.
the show,
I kind
when
of
the
do.
last time did you even think about Bad Boys?
Yesterday.
Before I brought this up for the show.
Yesterday.
I like
I
Bad
listen to that
Boys.
song like every day.
Yeah, but
so.
you didn't think about the movie. You were just thinking about that damn song.
I like Bad Boys. I've always liked Bad Boys. It's one of those watched it growing as a teen kind of things. And I've heard about this Bad Boys 3 off and on.
Sure.
Prior. And I'm like, yeah, I'd go see it just because it's Will Smith and Martin Lawrence and, they're keeping the same cast and it's reaching back to that nostalgia thing though. It's not necessarily because I want to see another buddy cop movie.
That's fair.
They tried with 21 Jump Street remake, which was garbage.
No.
Yes.
Right.
What?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm done.
She's like, podcast canceled.
Nope.
Unplug my mic. I'm done with this shit.
Yeah.
But no, okay. That's fair.
They tried with that and it got better ratings than what people thought.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then they tried with part 2, the 22 Jump Street, which didn't do as well either. Amber's about ready to throw
I would
us
say
out.
that is a matter of opinion. Thank you very much.
I'm about to say it's not buddy cop, but it's more like family. But I would like to see them make a Blue Bloods movie.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay.
Like just have them in all the same characters and everything, and just have one really big like case, and that whole movie would be like about that case and them fighting between each other like
I'd
they
watch
do,
that.
and all come together at the end, and just a Blue Bloods movie. I'd be good with that.
Remake Police Academy. There you go.
There you
Everybody
go.
will be happy and mad at the same time. So there you go. No, I think though that this might help rejuvenate Martin Lawrence's career because he ain't made a good movie in decades.
Yeah,
And
since
all
the
them
90s.
Big Mama's House movies and all that shit. Look, listen to me, fellow black people of the world. If you ever do a movie where you are dressed up as a old woman, that is the end of your career. Okay? The moment he started doing them Big Mama's House movies, it was just all downhill from there. That's why Tyler Perry will never rise beyond what he is now, because he won't stop doing them goddamn Medea movies. Like, just stop.
He's done.
Stop doing it. Yeah, he say that until
Till the
he
money
need another
well
motherfucking
dries up.
paycheck. Shit, right? Until that fucking rent money come up again, and he'll be like, oh.
Wasn't the one he's doing Tyler Perry's funeral or something?
Medea funeral.
Medea's
Medea funeral.
The next
Okay,
one gonna
the next
be Medea in
one's
hell.
gonna
or
be Medea
some shit.
Afterlife. The afterlife of
Oh, she'll be
Medea.
haunting motherfuckers. Hello, boo! Like, no.
Blur.
Oh, God.
She gonna be in hell with her little piece out of her. She gonna pull her piece like, oh hell no!
Thank the Lord.
Oh my God, I can't stand those movies.
I love him.
But I mean, Will Smith don't need this shit though. So I'm surprised that he was like, yeah, I'll do it. Maybe Martin was just like, please, man, look, I got caught up with taxes and shit, and I got
Could
bills
be.
to pay. Because I'm just like, I don't see why
I would
Will
say
Smith at
Will-
this point would go back to Bad Boys. Of all the things he could go back and redo,
Yeah.
I would.
It's
more
not the
expect him
worst thing
to
he
be
could go
in
back
a new Men in
and do.
Black movie before he'd do
He'd
this.
probably love it. He probably got a whole room in his house dedicated to those movies.
He was best friends with Martin Lawrence, so...
Yeah, like 30 years ago. I was going to say like 20 years ago.
I was saying not 30, but...
I guess all in all, it's not Michael Bay directing it, so I am interested to see what these new directors... It's like a directing duo.
Okay.
God, they have some really complicated names, so I didn't even bother trying to memorize the shit. But yeah, so there's a new, fresh take on it, I guess, so it could be worthwhile.
It could be good, or it could be a straight to Netflix thing. We don't know.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
That's a good point.
You know, I mean, with
I want
some...
to see it go to the movies, so I don't want
Yeah,
it to go
yeah,
straight to Netflix
yeah.
or straight to DVD. You know?
Yeah, no, I would like to see it in theaters. I would hope
straight
it's
to VHS.
Right, I know. Straight to the garbage can. That's right. I mean, I don't know, but even if the movie's good, somebody got to change that title. Like, I hope y'all ain't started printing up merch for this shit yet and making posters, because I'm like, please, y'all got to change that.
I want to say they could still call it Bad Boys 3, because the second one was just Bad Boys 2. However,
Bad Boys, still bad.
just not
better.
Not with the backwards letters and numbers and shit.
Yeah.
That shit's 5th grade.
Weak ass shit. Yeah, no, it is though. It's fucking terrible. Like, I don't know what possesses anybody to think like, oh yeah, no, this would be totally cool. Like, that shit ain't been cool since y'all first started doing
I want to say
it.
that shit ain't been cool since Bad Boys 1.
Yeah, no, hell no.
Bad Boys 97.
I don't know. Like, But see, this is what frustrates me about Will Smith. I was like, look, motherfucker, if you gonna go back and do Bad Boys, you are not above going back to Men in Black, and you damn sure ain't above going back to Independence Day. That's the shit he should have been going back to. That's the movie
I
that
agree.
put him into the stratosphere. You may not like it, but that whole Welcome to Earth shit, that is what made people who didn't watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and shit like that, that's how they knew Will
Yeah,
Smith.
remake of that.
Yeah, who didn't watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Wait, remake the show?
Just continue it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, who's gonna be the new Will Smith then?
No, Will Smith.
No, Will Smith be Will Smith. He'll just be older and have a family.
Oh, he'd be the Uncle
And
Phil
yeah,
now.
He'd be the Uncle Phil.
I'll say
They
they...
can have Jaden be.
Oh,
Yeah.
fucking hell.
No, not Jaden.
You
No.
lost me as soon as
Son.
you said Jaden. I don't give a fuck if he is son or not. Jaden is a terrible actor.
He really is.
Did you see The Karate
Yes,
Kid?
I thought it was good.
I'll say they would have to...
Did you watch After Earth?
Yeah, there you go.
No, be glad you
What's the other one that he did with Jaden?
Oh, the one that he did that is actually good is The Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh,
That is
Yeah,
actually
that
good.
was
I
a
liked
good
that
one.
one.
But Jaden is like 7 in that movie, so I'm like, that don't count. All he had to do was be a kid. He was just like, just don't talk through my scenes and we good. Anyway, any other thoughts on Bad Boys for Lift 3? Is that what we're calling it?
I'm good on that.
No? Amber, because you seem to be the most, like, yeah, do it.
I haven't seen number 2.
She's like, I don't give a fuck.
You haven't seen the second one?
And I've only seen bits and pieces of the first one.
Oh my god, we gotta watch them. Like, we have to have
God.
we need to have
Start a list on your phone.
a
of all the
slumber
movies you
party
watch.
with the 4 of us. Cozy Jammas and fucking
Jambalaya.
Jambalaya and some old ass
Look,
movies.
Amber's over there like, oh, you said jambalaya.
Okay, real quick, shout out to Double Toasted. They are a podcast and a website that I've been listening to for years, and there's a guy on the show, his name is Sammy, and he has his own little sub show called Sammy Ain't Seen Shit. And he's like a film student, but there's like all these movies he's never seen. He's never seen like the Rocky movies, he's never seen like The Matrix or Jaws, and there's all kind of shit. And it's like, goddamn, what the fuck is y'all teaching y'all as film school for you haven't seen like classic like
They just
staples?
teaching his ass angles and shit.
I would
like,
say there
much,
must
yeah.
be a lot of people that didn't see Rocky movies. I think I told you about this when we went to see Creed.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend, and I was texting her as we were watching or waiting for
Who
you.
Creed?
Yeah, like I said, I was going to see Creed, and she's like, "In concert?" I said,
Nah.
"No, as in the movie."
Creed.
She's
With
like,
arms wide open, like no, hell no.
Keep them arms wide open. I'm gonna give you a left jab to the jaw.
she's
motherfucker.
like, "Oh, well, I don't watch a lot of movies. What is it about?" And I said, "It's kind of the continuation of Rocky,
Yeah.
like the boxing movie." She's like, "Oh, yeah, I never saw that either."
She's like, tell me more about this boxing that you.
I'm
think
like,
of. Oh my god!
I'm like, we
Like,
can't
I'm
be
done
friends.
with you.
Sorry.
I told her, I was like, block her.
Right. Pretty much.
No,
Yeah.
need that negativity in my life.
Hell yeah. All right.
But just a little sidebar, because you said somebody ain't never seen Rocky.
Yeah,
so.
but no. Amber's. We're gonna start her a whole sub part of the show. Just Amber ain't seen shit because there's so many movies that you ain't seen before, and
I'll say we might as well. Amber and T Money ain't seen shit.
yeah, pretty
Like
much.
the profound journey.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Because I'm like, god damn, because ain't neither one of them
Never seen The Matrix.
seen the Matrix. Well, Amber's seen it. She just don't like it. Back to the Future.
And they ain't never seen Back to the Future. He ain't never
But
seen.
you got to school y'all motherfuckers on that.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
while we
telling.
had it.
Yeah. To be fair, I've never watched it the whole way through either. I've
What?
seen parts of
What?
Jaws, but never.
Summer?
Jaws.
Yeah,
I've
never,
seen the
never
first
seen it the whole way
one.
through.
That's
I like-
all that matters.
Yeah, all the other ones I hear. Are
I say I like Deep Blue Sea better.
Deep as blue. My head is like a shark fin. Okay.
That's it. I'm
Good
done.
lord. All right. We're done. Moving on. Francine, help us.
Welcome humans to One Giant Leap for Geeks, Ask Us Anything. This is your opportunity to have your questions answered by the all-knowing enlightened ones. Or just some assholes on a podcast. If your putrid flesh sack is compelled to submit your questions, you may do so on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks, or email them to officialoglfg@gmail.com. The first question, sent by Besotted Geek, at Besotted Geek Pod on Twitter. You get to remove one movie from a franchise. What do you choose?
Man, I was excited when I saw this one. Tokyo Drift. Out of there.
Oh, good choice. Good
Out.
I
choice.
like that one.
That's hell no.
I swear you watch shit. I swear you do. You like just the most worst shit. I swear. I love you, but you do. You know you do.
I don't watch trash.
Yeah, that's my line. Okay, all right, Amber, what you got?
I don't know.
One movie from a franchise that you could just take out.
You can't do this to me. I told you last night. I don't like being on the spot. I don't know.
Hmm.
My brain stops.
Well,
What-
let T Money go first.
Okay, yeah.
Think about it.
All right, what you got, T-Money?
Blade Trinity.
Oh no!
Hate that. Yes. Hate that movie.
No!
It
Hell no!
Against everything for Blade movies.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
No.
The only good thing in that movie,
Was the
Ryan
inverse.
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds was funny, but it didn't fit in that.
For
From what they
Blade's not
established
supposed
in
to
the
be
first two
funny.
movies, that was a complete 180 from what they did, and it was just not. It didn't. No, it didn't feel right. They should have their own spin-off movie with him and Jessica Biel or whoever.
Jessica
the fuck it
Biel,
was. Okay,
Whistler's
yeah.
daughter.
But
Yeah.
see, I was contemplating between because I had to try to figure out which Blade I wanted to take her out of.
Blade two
Because
is
they
pretty
actually because they made another Blade movie and it was not Wesley Snipes in the movie.
No,
Really?
it was not.
Yes,
What the?
because I bought the 4-pack
Uh-huh.
and it had the movies that have more than one movie on one disc and stuff.
Oh,
And I
know
bought
what
it.
you're talking about. I know what you're talking
Well,
about.
they had a movie, and I was like, all right, cool. I watched this last one because I've watched all the other ones. I haven't seen this one. And I
Right.
put it in, and it was some random-ass black dude. I was like, where's Wesley Snipes? No, I ain't even watching this shit. No.
He was like, "Why they got fucking Omar Epps in this bullshit? Like, I want to see this shit. They got Ice Cube playing Blade."
Yeah, it was.
Hey, that's
stupid.
another one we could pull out
Oh, the Triple X.
The Triple X
Yeah.
Part
Yeah,
2.
yeah, with Ice Cube. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
'Cause
you could just take that whole franchise.
I
It's
like
garbage.
Triple X. I really do. The first one is great.
I like Triple X movies. Not
Well,
necessarily that Triple X.
I mean, I
movie.
like them too, but yeah, I don't know what the fuck that State of the Union was,
Yeah.
but it was not what I was expecting or what I wanted as far as a Triple X sequel.
I agree. I agree.
And I haven't seen the third one, so I don't know how that worked out, but
For me, I would say,
Spider-Man 3.
God damn, how did you know I was gonna say?
I think we all knew that.
Yeah, Spider-Man 3. Take that shit and just set it on fire.
That's your least favorite Spider-Man.
Oh my god, that is just...
That one's even worse than the ones with Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, people shit on the Amazing Spider-Man movies. They're not the greatest. They're okay, but Spider-Man 3 is just a fucking train wreck.
You don't have Tobey Maguire going.
I know, right? Doing his fucking best John Travolta impression and shit. I can't, no. So, yeah, man. Yeah, mine is Spider-Man 3. Oh, fuck. I get, like, nightmares. I, like, wake up in cold sweats, and I'm like, Topher Grace! Oh, God, okay.
Topher Grace and fucking that stupid dance he did. Those are the only things that I remember from Spider-Man 3.
The Sandman was cool.
Yeah,
I liked it.
yeah.
Like the scene where he's, like, forming himself from the sand and he's falling back down and shit like that. All that shit's cool. But then again, he, like, retcons the first movie, and it's like, oh, no. The Sandman killed Uncle Ben, and you just didn't know this whole time. And I'm like, okay, see, now once you start retconning shit in the middle of your franchise, that's when you start losing me. Oh, I forgot though. Then they had like Harry on like the surfboard.
Yeah, he was the hobgoblin.
And what pissed me off about that is they had built that up from the first two movies. And because by the end of the second one, he finds out that his dad was a Green Goblin. Right. And you're like looking forward to like, oh, they're gonna have a confrontation, and it happens in like the first 5 minutes. Harry loses his memory, and then at the end, they're friends. And he's like, after Peter blew half his goddamn face up, he's like, "Come on, buddy, we're gonna go fight Venom in the Sandman." He literally calls him buddy.
Yeah.
During the fight, and I'm like, okay.
No.
Anyway, all right, Amber, did you get a chance to figure out one?
No.
She's like, no.
I figured out yours, but
yeah, well, I guess that was good enough.
That's win.
All right, Francine, what's the next one?
Next we have, sent by, Sack 'em Up Sundays podcast, at Sack 'em Up Sundays on Twitter. After this god-awful pickle obsession, what do you think will be the next big food fad?
I really first thought that said sack. Or smack, I'm sorry. It is sack.
Yes.
But I thought it said smack, and I'm like, Smack 'em Up Sundays, alright.
Hey, if you guys ever want to change your name, here you go. Somebody want to go first?
I really hope that the cheese fans kind of die down a little. Because I know people that put cheese on everything. Like,
This is good, though.
I saw cheese on a freaking ice cream sundae, though. That's just nasty. I don't know where I saw it. I think it was something on Facebook. But this girl was like, oh my god, and it wasn't like sliced cheese. She took fucking Cheese Whiz and put it on her. I'm like, I don't even like regular cheese that much. Like, if I go and I order a cheeseburger and I don't get cheese on it, I'm not going back for the cheese. It's okay.
Cheeseburger minus the cheese, please. Thank you.
Yeah,
They just charged me 62 cents for that damn cheese.
Yeah,
I'm going to get my cheese. And it better not be no cold cheese. You better have it melted on the...
I want a whole new patty.
Food on my warm sandwich.
Yeah, no. Make me a whole another burger.
Yeah, see, it ain't that important to me.
Shit, it is for me.
No, the only thing I will go back for is if, for whatever ungodly reason, that they forgot to put cheese on my pizza.
We have to make cheeseless pizza all the time. And I'm like, it's just sauce and meat. What the hell?
You said the other day.
And bread.
Yeah, I was making a joke. I was like, I want all meat. No cheese, no sauce, just dough and meat. Give me that shit.
You clowning, but like, people order that shit.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
That's fucking gross.
Mm-mm.
T-Money, what's yours?
I'm gonna stay in the same category and just be like, they going for some vinegarless pickles. It's gonna be cucumber.
Oh, cucumbers are alright.
I love cucumbers, but I don't want to eat them on, like, everything.
How do you just eat a bunch of cucumbers?
Yeah, but it's just gonna be cucumber.
I can't say anything because I've taken a cucumber off the shelf and just
she does
broke that shit in half and just gnawed on
I
it.
eat a cucumber. I can't eat the cucumber without the peel. I gotta peel it off. I can't mess with the rind.
We used to work at a grocery store, and I'd buy my lunch. I could get a cucumber for like $0.25. So I'd buy a cucumber, a tomato, and a little roll. It was 75 cents. I'd break the cucumber in half and just start gnawing on the cucumber.
Yum.
Yeah.
I can't
say nothing about the cucumbers. And I can't really say nothing about the pickles either, because I eat pickles on everything.
Oh yeah, I used to like one of my cousin's friends, like her kids used to just drink pickle juice.
Oh, I do that also. I still do that to this day.
Dude.
I put a little
He
Tony's.
did that
I put a little Tony's in it.
Man, we went to my
I'll
mama's for
drink it.
Thanksgiving and he did that. My mom had a big old jar of pickles because she had a pickle tray. And she said, here. And she hands him the jar of pickles and he just drinks it. And then hands her back the jar so she could put the
Hey,
pickles
look,
in it.
I am in the sports field. I don't need no cramps. It
shit.
helps with everything, right?
Okay.
Hangovers.
That's-
everything.
Yep.
That's fair. It's a catch-all remedy.
Yep.
What about you, Amber? What you got?
I like the hangover thing. Can we just be obsessed about margaritas and tequila?
Aren't we already?
Sure. That's not food, but sure,
Hey.
I'll allow it.
Hey,
Nachos.
you can make your own twist on the margarita and put like the pickle inside.
Oh, God.
Margarita.
Bloody Mary
The
margaritas.
Bloody Mary,
Oh.
Yes.
the Bloody Ritas, you know.
Bloody Ritas. I'm down. She's
Look, she's over there.
contemplating
She's
it.
over there
She's
thinking about it too.
contemplating
She's
it.
like,
You know what? Pour a little
You know?
pickle juice in that shit.
And
Hell
that
yeah.
tequila?
Get you some V8.
Look, tequila burns enough the back of my jaw when I drink it. I don't need no pickle juice doing it too. I think
I'm telling you, next party we go.
I think the next food fad, I don't know what it will be or probably will be, but what it should be is just everything cheesecake. Everything.
I'm cool with that.
Like make a
Like, I actually jump on that bag.
to where you make other foods or you make cheesecake like other foods. So you can have like a cheesecake pizza. You have like cheesecake burgers.
Oh.
You have like the crust as the bun, and then like the cheesecake in the middle, like a
Your
sandwich.
brain is cheesecake.
It is.
You know,
Mostly.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that is
Because you can make like a sweet cheesecake, or you could do like a savory cheesecake, or
Pickle cheesecake.
cheesecake corn dogs, where you deep fry them and shit. Because we had a deep fried cheesecake and it was really good.
I've actually had deep fried cheesecake
See?
before, so
Yeah.
it was really good. As long as you don't make hot dog flavored cheesecake, that'd be really
Cheesecake
gross.
cereal.
Hey, I've had cheesecake cereal.
Yeah, just make Honey Nut Cheerios taste like cheesecake and pour some milk on it.
Cheesecake Alfredo.
Right, cheesecake, all that shit.
Yep.
Just
I'm
make
down
a
for that. I'm down for that.
You just like cut it into like noodle strips and shit. Pour some like.
Or I was thinking the opposite, like you melt it down and make it the sauce. It'd be the Alfredo.
Okay, we all watch Chopped way too much.
Yeah.
Some graham cracker, like, biscuit.
Yeah.
I'm
Cheesecake
telling you.
Some
salad.
toast points.
Hell yeah.
Some toast points.
I'm trying to think of what else. What else could you make into cheesecake? Cheesecake tacos.
Ooh.
The whole thing.
I like a little, what's it called?
A guacamole layer? Not
Shell?
what you were thinking, but
No, like, what's that, like,
Like the taco bowl.
yeah, kind of, like cinnamon sugar taco shell.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
See, you see how versatile cheesecake can be?
Yep,
Do you
I'm
see
down.
Where I'm going with this?
I am
Cheesecake
down.
lasagna.
Okay,
Right.
before we move on to the next one, I want to say this. I saw an ad for a cheeseburger pizza from Papa John's.
Yeah.
They put the pickles on there. And everybody's freaking out. They're like, oh, that's disgusting, whatever. I go to Speedway and I get a piece of pepperoni pizza. I put the nacho cheese and pickles on there and the red flakes. So whoever's bitching about pickles on your pizza, y'all can go join the people that bitch about pineapple on your pizza because that shit's good.
It's actually really good. I'm not talking about the Papa John's one, but the place that I work at, he was like, well, I'm going to jump on this pickle bandwagon and see what it's all about. And we made a prototype, and he has a mac and cheese pizza over there. Well, I came up with one called the Pickled Mac, and it's basically a mac and cheese pizza.
Okay.
And he had got the bread and butter chips.
Oh.
And he put it on top of it. It sounds really bad.
No,
it is fucking
I'm
great.
down for that.
It is so good because we put the garlic butter sauce on top of it, the whole thing.
Sure.
And it came out so good.
Yeah, that's what I want for dinner tonight.
It came out so good.
There's one place garlic bread and butter pickles belong is in the trash.
Blasphemy.
I love pickles,
shots fired.
but
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it came out so it sounded. I was like, I don't know if I should try it, but then I'm like, well, that's kind of stupid because I'm always telling people, hey, try my food, because they're like, oh, I don't like gumbo, or I don't like this. I'm like, but yeah, but you hadn't had the real gumbo.
Right.
Or you haven't had this.
You can't get, fucking a can of gumbo from Walmart and be like, I don't like it. Like, that ain't good.
No.
So I was like, well, I'll try it. So I tried it, and it was actually really good. I was like, all right, cool. I can jump on this bandwagon.
I still can't co-sign the pickles on pizza. I just can't. I can't do it. I can't.
I know, I love them.
That goes against everything that I've ever stood for. I
You
can't
don't
do
like
it.
pickles, though.
No, I don't. That's why I'm just like, I can't. Oh.
But you like my potato salad. You ate my potato salad.
Yeah.
And it has sweet and dill relish in it.
That is true.
Which is pickles.
That is true, but relish is a
You'll
little bit
eat
different.
relish.
Yeah, I'll eat that.
Which is crazy because, like, my little sister, Brittany, is the exact opposite. She loves pickles, but every time I make potato salad, I have to mix everything first, put her a side of potato salad, and then mix in all my relish and stuff because she won't eat it if it has relish.
Amber does the same thing, but not with potato salad. She doesn't like crust on pie. So when they make fucking pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving and shit, they just make her custard, pretty much, and she just eats the filling with no crust in a bowl.
I only like particular crusts. Like
crust.
I've ate the crust off of.
See, I like
I've just
crust.
scraped the filling off and just ate it. So I feel you on that one.
Oh, yeah.
And then her sister's weird. She like literally paints her pie
Don't call my sister out.
with fucking. She don't listen to this shit. With whipped cream.
I've done that too, so I can't.
So
say
it's just
nothing.
like a shell of whipped cream over the pie, and I'm
Yeah.
like, do you want some pie with that whipped cream? God damn.
Hey,
Anyway.
I've done both of those, so
What's our next one, Francie?
On to our next submission. Sent by Films on Trial at Film Trials on Twitter. Who is the most overrated actor/actress of all time?
Oh, wow.
Sandra fucking Bullock. I'm saying it. I don't give a fuck. Amber can
God,
be mad all
office.
she wants to, but fuck her. Okay, she's a good actress in Speed.
yes. That's
Other
about
than that, Miss Congeniality, that movie with Ryan Reynolds,
Heat,
where
The Proposal.
yeah, the Heat, the Proposal, all that shit, trash.
Divorce.
You know what?
Y'all aren't even married.
I know. The one movie though that I did see her in recently, where I did think she was really good, was Gravity. I did like her in that. But other than that,
I liked her in Phenomenal or Paranormal. No, it wasn't Paranormal. I think it was called Phenomenal. Like, she keeps reliving the same week over and over, but it's not in sequence, and she's got to figure out like what happened. Like, her husband dies, and something happens with her kids, and something happens with her best friend.
like Phenomenon.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Something like a phenomenon.
Any-
That's two
anyway.
LL Cool J references tonight.
Anyway, she's got to like piece it together so that she can save everybody. That was actually a really good movie. So I mean, Miss Congeniality was okay.
One and two.
Speed was great. I didn't care for the Lake House, even though I love Keanu Reeves.
I forgot about that. I knew she was in one with Keanu Reeves besides Speed, but I couldn't think of what it was.
Yeah, I pick and choose which ones I like, but I can agree with you. She's not the, oh my god, let's rush to Sandra Bullock kind of thing.
Mediocre.
Yeah.
What about you, Amber? Who do you think is one of the most overrated actors of all time? Actors and or actress?
No one come for me. I hate Tom Cruise.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
You know what? I don't.
Everyone thinks he's so awesome and so hot. No.
Well, I don't know about all
I'll
that.
say he ain't been hot since Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, that's fair. But you know what though? That boy can run his ass off. Y'all can talk whatever shit you want to about Tom Cruise, but when I go to a Tom Cruise movie, I know he finna run his motherfucking
I
ass
do
off.
like him, but I don't think he's the best thing ever like
No,
everyone else.
no.
I
I
like
agree.
his movies, but
Of the battle of the white male actors from the late 80s, early 90s, it was always like, who's the best, Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt? And I think time has shown that Brad Pitt is the better of the two. Because I will watch anything Brad Pitt's in. Like, if you ain't seen Troy, kill yourself. Because
Right.
Troy is a good goddamn movie. So
I like a lot of Brad Pitt's movies.
I was just about
Right,
to do
right.
that.
I don't think I've watched anything that Tom Cruise has been in since Jerry Maguire.
Or
So-
if you ain't seen Fight
you
Club,
have.
oh my god.
New
Did you see The
Tom
Mummy?
Cruise?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, good.
We went to the movies and watched that Tom Cruise movie.
The Mission Impossible?
Impossible.
Yeah, we did see that.
Those are still pretty good, though.
Yeah.
I do like those.
I don't like spy movies.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, anyway.
Best part was when he smashes his ankle on the building. I'm like, oh, he really did smash his ankle.
Yep, he fucked his shit up, too. Anyway, Amber, who you got?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Tom
Jesus.
Cruise.
I mean, T-Money, I'm sorry. Who you got?
John Travolta.
Yeah.
I don't like anything he's in.
He's another one I pick and
he's
choose.
Overhyped.
You
Yeah.
like Face Off.
Okay, one movie out of all
Yeah.
the fucking movies that
Okay.
he's made.
Yeah, Face Off. is
And
pretty good.
honestly, I liked Face Off better
Because
not
Nicolas
because of him,
Cage,
Yeah.
not
of
because Tom.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he could have been the one that got fell off the top of a roof and ran over by a train, and I've been good with that.
Like, oh, well, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and lately, too, John Travolta's been in a bunch of just terrible
Garbage.
movies. He was in that Gotti movie, the movie about John Gotti, and it got like a 2% on Rotten Tomatoes or some crazy shit. It's bad.
He's
Yeah.
got only he's another one. I only like a handful of his movies. Like Face Off, obviously. Broken Arrow was a good one.
I forget about that one. That is good. That
That,
is a good
I
movie.
mean, he's got a few, but
Sure.
like I say a few, I can count on one hand.
Yeah.
He's
Two
not
fingers.
the greatest.
No, hell
No. All right.
Yeah, and he can't run, so he don't have that redeeming factor.
No, he
He ain't running from nothing.
Right, he ain't
And he
running,
got that
he
butt
ain't
chin.
dancing. Yeah, it's like, if you ain't dancing or doing some shit, we ain't trying to hear that shit.
No.
You know who I almost picked, though?
who?
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze's got a
Rest his soul.
few good ones.
But honestly, besides Ghost, I've never liked him in anything.
I liked Ghost, I liked Point Break, and I liked Dirty Dancing, and that's
Okay,
it.
I'll take that back. Besides Point Break and Ghost, I've never liked Patrick Swayze.
Like those are the three Patrick Swayzes that I like.
My very, 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 very close second
Uh-huh.
was gonna be fucking Will Ferrell.
Oh my God, he's my alternate.
Oh God, I hate.
No,
Fucking
I
I
hate
don't like
Will
any
Ferrell.
movies. Like
Everyone's like, I'm leaving. I'm done.
there's
the people who came out with the damn Sherlock Holmes movie should be shot.
Now, wait
I
a
am
minute.
so
now.
fucking
Now,
excited.
Wait a
No,
minute now.
no.
Nah,
That
nah,
actually
nah.
looks really fun.
No.
The only reason I say that is because I don't like Will Ferrell usually, but when he's with John C. Reilly, I think it's funny. Like Step Brothers is one of my favorite
No.
movies.
There's
love
not
that
a
movie.
single movie that I like Will Ferrell in.
Done.
I
And
almost
same thing
didn't.
with Talladega Nights. It's because John C. Reilly's in it.
I almost didn't go see the Lego movie because I heard Will Ferrell was going to be in it.
Damn.
Like,
Like,
that?
I
like
don't
it's
wanna
like
see
that.
Sherlock Holmes
Like
at
I don't
all.
want to. I don't want to see Sherlock
And it's-
Holmes. I don't like
it's a
Ron
combo.
Burgundy. I don't.
Oh
Like,
yeah, them fucking.
I don't like
Anchorman
Step
movies.
Brothers.
So for me, it's a combo of that and them destroying a classic.
Yeah.
'Cause Sherlock Holmes ain't supposed to be a funny movie.
That's fair.
And they out there with like a fucking the first ever selfie stick, and then I'm gonna hit the queen in her head and knock her out. And
that was kind of
no,
funny.
Yeah.
But no,
No.
I
I'm
feel
not
you.
feeling-
I feel you.
It'd be like if they went and did the Lion King movie, and it was not focused on the Lion King, and it was
Yeah.
focused on just like the middle of the damn desert or something. You know,
Yeah.
like no,
That's fair because well, I don't really like the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies either. But
No, but it's got to be better than.
yeah, because this is just a flat out comedy. So okay, I understand.
but
your
yeah,
point.
like my close second would be Will Ferrell.
okay,
My Will Ferrell was my alternate with the other one. Like these two are equally interchangeably bad.
okay, that's fair.
And I know that our listeners are probably going to pour in.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Pour
I think,
in.
I think
Yeah, because he's a popular actor, just
Yeah.
not to me.
Motherfucking Christian Bale. Cannot stand that man. In anything. He
yeah.
like I said, he is equally interchangeably bad with Will Ferrell. I
I
can't
believe
do
you
it.
saying this. I just can't.
I can't do it. I can't. Mm-mm. There's not a single thing that he has played in that I liked.
You don't like American Psycho,
I would love to love American Psycho,
but you just.
but I can't do Christian Bale. Like, I can't do it.
That's fair. It's okay to be wrong.
I can't hate
It's
him.
fine.
Or I can't like him, I mean.
Nope. I'm editing that part out. All they're gonna hear is I can't hate him, and then we're just gonna cut it off. No.
I can't hate him.
Yeah.
I loathe him.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right, Francine, play us out.
That was a complete waste of time, but you humans seem to enjoy using your head jelly for useless endeavors. Alas, if you'd like to send more you can do so on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks, or email them to officialoglfg@gmail.com. Now, fuck off.
We have a crisis, people.
Uh-oh. Should we get the flux capacitor?
Yeah, because we gonna have to fix some shit. I'm getting this from the HollywoodReporter.com. They did a poll where they polled 2,201 adults and asked them basically what movie franchise would they want to see another installment of. And the number one pick, they literally says more Americans, 71% say they'd be likely to watch another outing for Marty McFly and Doc Brown ahead of other major film series. Apparently people want a Back to the Future movie, another one.
Okay.
Now, it would have to be a remake because, unfortunately, we're not going to get old-ass Christopher Lloyd and poor Michael J. Fox to come back and play these characters again. So, we got to remake Back to the Future.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to say up front, because I'm going to play devil's advocate for this, because if we're going to do it, we're going to do it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say up front, I do not want this. I do not support a Back to the Future remake, sequel, reboot, none of it. They are great as they are. Leave them alone. Don't fuck with it. They're timeless. Let them be.
Okay.
All right?
Fair enough, because I agree. They are. Even the third one, where it's...
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. The third one's the weakest, but still, it's still pretty good.
It's still good. Like...
That being said, since this is America...
Living in
Right.
America.
And, you know, the people get what the people want.
Most of the time.
When it comes to movies and shit, it's like, hey, they think they can make some money off that shit. It's happening, trust me. Even though the director said that over his dead body that they will kill your ass and make it anyway. That being said, since we have to make a Back to the Future movie, how do we go about doing it? So, we're going to pretend, we're going to do a little thought experiment, okay? We are going to pretend that we are executives at whoever owns the rights to Back to the Future. I don't know if it's Warner Brothers or somebody like that.
I think it's Fox. 20th Century?
Probably.
Yeah, I think it's 20th
So
Century.
Disney.
The mouse!
Yeah, and if you think that mouse ain't finna get that shit back on track, you crazy as hell. I'm not going to do the Mickey Mouse, though. I know you were waiting. I could hear you with bated breath over there. But, okay, so we have to figure out how do we remake Back to the Future for today's audiences.
Okay.
So, first, these are my ideas, and we're just going to kind of go around the table and just kind of spitball and throw them out there, and we're going to cobble this shit together and make it work.
All right, Mr. Executive, what you got?
So, my plan to remake Back to the Future is as follows. This will take place today. Not like today, but in today's time, 2018, 2019.
Okay.
Out. And they will go back, just like they did in the original movie, 30 years, and it will take place in the 80s. Okay, because the original movie takes place in the 80s, and they go back to the 50s, but now the past, quote-unquote, will be the 80s. All right? It's going to have some of the same beats as the original movie, and some minor callbacks to the original.
Okay.
Like, we can have, like, a Under the Sea dance or some shit like that, or just subtle. Like, we don't want to go too hard in the nostalgia realm because it's going to be a remake, and we may possibly have some cameos from some of the original actors playing different characters in this.
Sure.
But I don't want it to be like, oh, these universes are connected or something like that.
Right,
like,
right. It's a standalone
thing. But acknowledging that, yes, there was some movies that came before it. Like, that's my idea.
So it's like a Jurassic Park of...
Kinda. The Jurassic World
of the
yeah,
Jurassic Park of Back to the Future.
So where these things kinda sorta happen, but we're not really gonna focus too much on that, but we're not gonna pretend like it didn't completely either.
Gotcha.
There needs to be a twist, though. I feel there needs to be some kind of twist at the end, something different, because in the original movie, for those who haven't seen it, I'm about to spoil the ending to Back to the Future, so sorry.
30 years in the making.
Right. at the end of the original movie, after Marty gets his parents back together and he goes back to the 80s, because some minor elements of how his parents met changed, his father he was really like shy and not very confident and kind of like a bitch the whole time, but because he gets his dad to knock out the bully in the high school in the past, he grows up to be confident and sure of himself and shit. So he becomes like this science fiction writer, and they get all his money and shit, and everybody's well off. Like his brother doesn't go to jail, and he has this nice sweet ass truck and shit. And it's pretty much all the future has changed to benefit Marty.
They're no longer dirt poor.
Yes, they were poor and shit, and it was all fucked up.
They're not emotionally scarred.
Yeah.
They're actually happy.
In my version, what would happen is Marty would come back, because this is what always bothers me in time travel movies. Real quick, I'm going to get real nerdy on y'all for a second. The reason time travel movies don't work is because, and Amber's heard me tell this story a million times, you cannot go and change the past.
Right.
If you change the past, then whatever reason you went back never happened, so you never went back to change it.
Right.
That's why you can never change the past, because say, I think it's in the movie, the story The Time Traveler by like H.G. Wells or somebody like that. Where his wife dies, and he builds a time machine to go back in the past to save his wife, but every time he tries to save her, she just dies in a different way. Because if she never dies, you wouldn't go back to save her, so you would negate the fact that you time travel. So unless you just cancel yourself out the timeline, you can't change the past.
They kind of do that in the butterfly effect, too.
Exactly. Because every time he fucks with something, it changes.
Right.
It has ripple effects, and it starts to fuck with him, and he starts dying from it because you're not supposed to fuck with the past. Like, you're just not.
Well, he figures out that that's the only way for everybody to be happy is if he actually dies.
Exactly. So, my thing would be, in this movie, when Marty comes back to the future, that, it can be, his parents got money now and everything's all good, this, that, and the other, but there's a new Marty in his place. Because since he's changed the timeline, the Marty the future that he goes back to
is not his.
Is his future, but he doesn't belong in it. So the sequels would then be about like, okay, you could have kind of like a buddy thing where like him and the new future Marty have to go and fix and change shit and throw them in with Doc Brown. So instead of bringing the girlfriend to the future and all that, now you have two Martys.
Okay.
So I'm like, if you're going to do it, you got to kind of tweak it a little bit and change it some. It can't be the same beat for beat, not the exact same, because we're not rebooting it, we're remaking it.
Right. So,
now, the important part. Casting. Okay. This is the important part. So, alright. Hold on to your butts. So, my two choices alternating for, you can do this one way or another for Doc Brown. Alright, hear me out. Chris Rock or Robert Downey Jr.
Okay.
All right. Now.
All right.
Marty McFly. Okay. Lakeith Stanfield. Which, because Mel made a face like, who the fuck is that? Lakeith Stanfield. He is the guy with the hat and Get Out. The one who tells him, like, get out.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, the one, who...
The grandpa that's been in the track
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
No, not the one that works there. He's the one where he flashes the camera and he comes back for a second and he's like, get out!
Oh, okay.
Him.
I gotcha.
Okay, that's Lakeith Stanfield, and if no one's ever seen Get Out, if you saw the Death Note Netflix movie, he plays L in that, and he was in another movie recently called, Thank You for Waiting or some shit like that. Either way, Lakeith Stanfield as Marty McFly, and my alternate would be Tom Holland.
I can see Tom Holland.
Now,
okay, I'm down for that.
Are immediately going to say like, "Oh, you just want to see Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland play Marty and Doc Brown?" So
that would be I'd be okay with that.
They do well as like a kind of father and son relationship as Iron Man and Spider-Man. So do it up. I would totally, and you can mix and match. You can have Chris Rock be Doc Brown, Tom Holland be Marty, or you have Lakeith be Marty and Robert be Doc, or, Robert and Tom, Chris and Lakeith. I don't care.
Right.
Whatever mix and match scenario you want to do, those would be Because I was trying to think of actors who are in their 50s, because they got to be older.
Mm-hmm.
But you're never going to recast Christopher Lloyd.
Right.
So you got to kind of just do something different. And you're never going to find another Michael J. Fox, but you can find somebody who can be that kind of cool, but still kind of nerdy and like funny and snarky and like smart ass character.
Yep.
So yeah.
Okay. I can dig it.
So if people were still trying to figure out who Lakeith Stanfield was, you missed a really big one.
ATL?
No.
What?
Straight Outta Compton.
Yes! I forgot. Who did he
Snoop.
play? He plays Snoop Dogg. Yeah, but he's in that movie for like 8 minutes, man.
It don't matter. It was a good 8 minutes.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. He plays Snoop Dogg, in Straight Outta Compton. Yeah, you're right. I forgot. Well, he's not in it for very long, though.
Yeah, he's not, but I mean, he was in it, you know.
That's fair.
He also played in Selma.
Yes, but I did not see Selma. But I knew he was in it, though.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So there's that. So, okay. Mel, what you got?
Okay. I'm not gonna fuck with your time plot there, because
Okay.
I like where that
So,
goes.
2019 back to 89. Okay.
Sure, I'll go with that, because
Okay.
it's not far off of what I had. I had set in the 2000s and go back to the 70s.
Ooh, okay.
So,
Okay.
I'm alright with either one of those.
Okay.
Now my cast.
Okay.
I have 2 options for both.
Okay.
And I like you just did Marty McFly and Doc Brown, because honestly, the other characters are minor
Fair.
compared to Marty and Doc.
Yeah, because they're the only thing that matters, so yeah.
Yeah. So, my Doc Brown
Mm-hmm.
would either be Tim Robbins
Oh, that's good. Okay. All right.
or Bill Nye the Science Guy. Now, hear me out.
Okay.
We
all
need
right.
Doc Brown to be a little edgy
Sure.
and a little crazy
Yeah.
and real tall, pale, and skinny, wild, crazy hair.
Sure.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh my God, yeah.
He's all sciencey anyways, so
You could even have like a reference to that show.
yeah.
But no, if they go back to the 70s, no.
No, but if they're in the 90s or in the 2000s,
Yeah, that's true.
early 80s or
Yeah,
late
and then you
80s,
could be like, oh yeah, like I love that show.
yeah. Okay, so but
Okay,
those are
all
my
right.
Doc Brown
Okay.
and
So Tim Robbins or
Tim
Bill
Robbins
Nye the
or Bill
Science Guy.
Nye.
Okay.
and my Marty McFly is either Josh Hutcherson.
Who
He
would
plays
be in?
PETA in the Hunger Games.
Oh, okay. All right.
Or Josh Peck, which most people know him from Drake and Josh. Fat chubby kid, lost all kind of weight.
Okay. I thought you were going to say Drake, and I was going to be like, get the fuck
No.
out of my house.
No. Josh.
But yeah, you know what?
From Drake and Josh.
He has definitely grown and come into his own.
Yeah.
Isn't he a little old at this point?
He's in his 30s.
Okay.
I
Did he pass for 20s? Because
Yeah.
technically Marty was in high school.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I mean, I think he's our age.
Sure. Okay.
And I get carded all the time, so.
All right. That's fair.
But yeah, they're both early 30s.
Okay.
So they could pass for late teens, early 20s.
Sure. Okay.
And then,
So we'll just say Marty's in college now.
yeah, why not? I mean, if you got it, if he's going back, it could work. But yeah, so Josh Hutcherson or Josh Peck as Marty McFly. And then Tim Robbins or Bill Nye as Doc Brown.
You know,
And I don't know if they're necessarily interchangeable. And I kind of leaned a little more towards Tim Robbins more so than anything, because I think he'd be a really cool Doc Brown.
okay.
Hutchinson and Robbins were my first choices, and then Bill Nye and Josh Peck were the alternates. But I'd be okay with either combination. What you think, T-Money?
All right. So
I'm gonna say this is probably hard for you because you don't typically know like actors and stuff like that. But take your shot at it.
So for Doc, I originally had just had one, but since y'all was doing alternates and everything, I figured out some alternates. My first choice for Doc would be Henry Winkler.
Okay.
All right, okay.
And then my alternate would be Christopher Maloney.
That would be awesome. Law and Order
Special Victims
SVU.
Unit.
Yeah,
Okay.
Stapler.
All right.
I could.
He'd be like a tense ass Doc Brown. Marty! Oh shit! I'm sorry. What?
Well, he plays really good as like a comedy character too.
Okay, I've never seen him in a comedic role, but okay.
Well, like he had the role in Surviving Jack
And Happy.
and Happy. They were TV series shows,
Oh
and he played a really good part in that.
yeah. Okay.
And then as Marty, I got my first choice would be Aaron Paul, which he played on Need for Speed.
Oh,
As
Jesse.
Toby.
Yeah.
Okay. Because when you said Aaron Paul, I thought of Logan Paul's brother, and I was like, oh fuck no. I was like, God no. No.
And then
Okay, Jesse. Yes.
My
Yes.
my alternate was Harrison Gilbertson.
Now what's he in?
He was also in the Need for Speed movie. He plays as the young Pete.
I need to see him. What's this dude look like? And his name is what?
Harrison Gilbertson.
Harrison Gilbertson. Okay.
He kind of got the Marty McFly look, you know?
Okay, I can see that. All right.
And like, as far as like the time and the whole storyline, I kind of liked what you were going, because my idea was like political, and I didn't want to go there.
No, we don't want to go there.
Right, go back. We must stop Trump.
That's actually what it was.
I'm
Like,
okay with
Go
that.
back and give Trump's daddy a condom. You know, like
Oh
that.
God, hell yeah, right. Oh, shit.
I am okay with that.
Oh man, right. That would be great.
And
Just-
have like all these different things that he had to like go through just to be able to like not get the mom and the dad together, kind of shit.
Wow, you know what? People would be mad as hell, but I would totally go see that fucking movie.
Right here.
God damn, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
So yeah, that was my cast.
Now it's funny because Amber, as well as C Money, has not seen the Back to the Future
No.
movies. Did you have any input on this one?
No.
No.
So glad I brought you on to be on this episode.
She's here for moral support.
I'm here
Right.
to sit here and look cute.
But
Hey,
but-
there you go.
But she did give me an idea though, because we're forgetting and leaving out the most important part of Back to the Future.
Mm-hmm.
The car.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I had a really good one, and I just kind of threw it out.
Yeah, no, it works though, because
Was
it had to be, it had to be a car that wasn't too common, but common enough that people would recognize it and know it. Because when Back to the Future came out, nobody was driving a fucking DeLorean at that point. But people knew what it was, and it just looked cool, you know, with the doors and all that shit.
Yeah.
So
All Lambo style and shit.
what would you make the new DeLorean for our Back to the Future remake?
The Chevy Volt.
It's an electric car, so it's already primed and ready to go.
Oh my god.
I was like, you know what? That is actually kind of perfect. I was like, and they're going out of production soon, just like the DeLorean did. So yeah, that would work.
Winning.
Yeah. No, I was like, when she said Chevy Volt, I was like, you know what? That's dumb enough to where I actually like it.
The AMC Pacer.
Oh god, a Prius. Like,
Fucking Prius, get that shit out of here. No.
oh. But yeah, I mean, I don't want this to happen. I don't want to see a Back to the Future remake. But if we're gonna do it, so if anyone's listening who has connections to anybody that could possibly be involved in this,
I'll say we do got connections out in LA.
yeah, Trisha and Shauna, if y'all could just start writing this script up for us, please, that'd be great. 'Cause yeah.
So my DeLorean
Okay.
would be the Pontiac Fiero.
Oh Lord.
Oh, I need to see it. Oh shit, that looks damn near like the fucking DeLorean. Yeah, so hell yeah.
Yep.
Like, yeah, my grandpa gave me this car. Don't worry about it. Like, you know, I know it's old, but whatever. Executives, whoever's gonna ruin this new Back to the Future movie, if you're gonna do it and you don't want it to be complete trash, take some of these ideas, please. Because I think that you could actually make something kind of cool out of this. Whatever happens, and I think he's too old now, but whatever fucking happens, I swear to God, do not, hear me, do not make Justin fucking Bieber Marty McFly, or
God.
I promise you there will be riots in the fucking streets.
Why?
Don't do it.
Why would you even put that juju out there?
For the longest time, for years, they kept having rumors that they were going to remake Back to the Future, and they kept saying Justin Bieber was going to be Marty.
No!
I don't know if people were just trolling or what, but yeah.
They were trolling hard.
Like, this has been, like, in, circles for years now, so
Nobody wants to see Justin Bieber act. No. Nobody.
We watched that one episode of, what was that show that he was on where they shot the shit out of his ass? Just like they did your boy, Phillip Phillips. She looks so sad.
Wasn't he on CSI?
Yeah, he was on an episode of CSI.
Yeah. CSI? Okay.
Yeah. Phil was on NCIS.
Okay, either way, they shot the shit out of both them bitches. Yeah, anyway, moving on. Have just gotten past the holidays.
Yes.
And we have all got to see our family and friends and sit around and reminisce about the good old days and talk about all the things that we are grateful for the good Lord to have blessed us with, and being thankful for being with friends and family at this time of reflection and thoughtfulness.
Mm-hmm. And then
we immediately go out and fist fight each other over fucking Swiffer dusters.
Immediately, too. Immediately.
Not even 24 hours later, because most people probably left Thanksgiving dinner and then went and stood in line at fucking the mall. So.
We did.
We didn't stand in line, though.
We didn't stand in line, but we went right after dinner.
Right. So
we went to Walmart.
The hypocrisy of the whole Thanksgiving Black Friday turnaround is not even cute on any fucking level at all. But, that being said, I personally work in retail, so I don't necessarily like Black Friday. I mean, I don't dislike it either, but it's no fun for me because I don't get to go shop and shit because I'm working.
Right.
But if you have to go Black Friday shopping, I mean just have to go, we are going to educate you on how you win Black Friday. And I mean win Black Friday, because I sat down with a bunch of ex-military and generals, and we put out a game plan and an action plan, you could say, to extract the best merchandise as quickly as possible with the least amount of casualties.
Now let's define best merchandise.
It can be whatever.
Like
you want to
anything on your list or electronics.
Maybe.
Okay. Fair enough. I
didn't get that far into
it. Because that does depend. Like, if you're specifically shopping for, say, electronics, then that changes the game, as opposed to shopping for things that people might not realize were on Black Friday sales.
Okay.
But still accomplish a spot on your Christmas list.
Yeah, I guess just like what like the best haul you can get for the most amount of value in the least amount of time.
Okay.
The best deal.
Okay.
So.
I saw something real quick. I saw something that said, if grocery stores would do Black Friday sales, like cans of soup or milk or something, they're like, hell yeah, I'd be there at 2 a.m.
I saw the same thing.
But the one I saw said, I wish utilities and household bills
I know,
would
right? Shit.
Would be like, you buy your electricity this month, you get next month half off. Like,
yeah.
There you
be
go.
like, yeah, I'm going to consumers. Well.
So, okay, now my plan, there has to be a couple assumptions in mind.
Okay.
First, we're going to make the assumption that you and everyone in your team all want the same thing or similar items, okay? Or maybe they don't even want it, they just want to go resell it after Black Friday. Who knows? But we're going to assume everybody wants the same thing. Also, we are going to assume that this is a department store and not a mall. And it has to be a department store that is open 24 hours. I'm not talking about that doorbuster shit where, they got people trampling all over each other and all that crazy shit. Right. No, there's no hope for you in that shit. So, 2 assumptions. Everybody wants the same thing.
Yep.
It's an open department store that you can already just stand in line in and wait. Okay? Now, this is what you do.
Okay.
You get 7 people, including yourself. All right? So, it's you and 6 friends. Okay? Everyone gets a shopping cart, okay? All 7 of you have a shopping cart. And as you go to, say, the pallet of 52-inch TVs that's in the middle of the store that you want to get, okay? There's like already probably going to be a crowd around it, okay?
Right.
As you are making your way to that position, your shopping cart stays empty, but all 6 of your friends just start grabbing just small little light items, things that are easily throwable. This will be important later, okay? Now, once you get to the line, you slowly start to have your friends strategically form a perimeter around the pallet with their shopping carts, okay? Full of the small throwable objects, all right? Now, the moment the plastic is cut, they all turn their shopping carts like perpendicular, okay? And they form like a wall around the pallet, okay? One person opens up, so you slide in, and then you begin to fill your shopping cart with as much shit as you can carry on it, okay? Once you have filled and topped off your haul, you then move as a unit to the front of the store for the checkout. Now,
Put you in the middle?
you are in the middle. Yes. It's just like some like fucking Spartan military shit where you're in the middle and they use the shopping carts to shield you off from the horde of people who are chasing you because they're mad because they didn't get shit. Now, this is where the small throwable objects come in. You need to keep distance between yourself and the other shoppers. So they will use these as projectiles, like arrows, to keep people at a distance as they're chasing you. So, I mean, I'm talking about like boxes of cereal, cans of soup, porcelain shit.
I'm about to say canned goods work the best.
Yeah. Hopefully something you can break so people got to step on it and there's shrapnel and shit.
Eggs.
Thank you. Yes, anything, squirting detergent on the floor, whatever you got to do.
Hey, Johnson & Johnson, there's a baby on it.
Exactly. So, you are this moving wall of shopping carts that are having shit just spew out of it to keep people at a distance from you. Now,
You alright over there?
we gotta let DJ Miller go breathe.
What's that?
Now,
I ain't worried about breathing. I'm worried about not pissing myself.
now, as you head to the checkout,
For the first time ever, DJ Milliman's about to snort. Watch.
right. She's gonna shart on the podcast.
I am not.
As you get to the checkout, they stand behind you in line, and they're in front of you. So you got 3 people in the front, 3 people in the back. Once you're getting to the last, like, 2 or 3 items to get scanned and bagged, let's say 2 people break off from your group, and they go get the car. You drive the car to the front of the store. One person stays in the car in the driver's seat. The other person opens the doors in the trunk and shit. And then when you get out there,
You better have more than a car.
you're just throwing shit in there. Okay, they're loading it up. You jump in, you pull off, you out that bitch. Congratulations, you have just won Black Friday.
You put a lot of thought into it.
Oh my god.
I did. Or you can do all of that, or just go on Wednesday. Like it's not that big a deal. They run these sales like all week.
Or just stay
No
at
one has to
home
go.
and do it online Monday.
Exactly. Like my store is in a mall. My store and most of the other stores, we started our Black Friday sales from like Wednesday until Monday. There is no reason to go out on Black Friday. Unless they got that one thing that they're like, we're not going to sell it until Friday, then sure, if you want that. But if you just want a good deal, you got like a week to do this shit.
Honestly, that's... Go ahead, Amber.
The mall was still packed at like 6 o'clock p.m. on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're just staying that way through the whole weekend. I'm like, there's no reason to go.
I had to go to Yummy Japan at the mall on Friday because some people at work was like, oh, hey, we want Japanese, and you're a delivery driver, so when you're out on the road, here's $100 bill, go get some. I was like, cool, well, I'm going to have to charge a delivery fee because...
And I'm keeping the rest. So fuck you.
But yeah, it was packed in there. Oh my god, even just the food court was packed. I was like,
Like
bruh.
Starbucks. Drove all the way up there.
Shit, I go to the campus Starbucks.
See, T-Money and I had this pegged down. We looked through the sales all week.
Okay.
Because, of course, Thursday's paper is the best paper of all.
Sure.
My clients buy the papers. I didn't have to buy shit.
Newspapers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So I just And, you know, they're old, so they don't go Black Friday shopping.
Sure.
And I'm like, oh, can I borrow this? And I can borrow this. And we got all the ads that we wanted to go to.
Okay.
We looked through all the deals. We said, Walmart's got the best deals. So we ended up going to Walmart.
Okay.
We went to a Walmart that's not the main Walmart in the town that we live in. So that was step number 1.
Okay.
You find a smaller Walmart that's kind of
okay. Push back on
push
the
back.
steps and shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Like
I
good,
like where this is going.
good for locals, but not the busiest Walmart.
Yep. Location.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We went right as the Black Friday deals started.
Okay.
So Walmart started theirs on Thursday at 6 p.m.
Yep.
We were at Walmart by 7.
Okay.
No later.
Okay.
'Cause we had to drive from my mom's.
Okay.
So, first hour, everybody's still in food coma.
Okay.
So,
Smart.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Sneak attack.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
So you go early.
Okay.
You go to one that's off the beaten path here.
All right.
Him and I had one cart and a friend.
Okay.
Now, the friend wandered, and we kind of wandered, but one person was always with the cart.
Okay.
Now, we went and scoped things out. Friend and I walked away. He went to go get a gift.
Okay.
Okay, so we divided and conquered.
Okay.
Then we didn't have a specific thing in mind for everybody.
Sure.
We just kind of had a general of, oh, well, they like this, this, and this. So let's, wander over there and see what we can find.
Okay.
As we're walking to to a section to go get somebody's gift, we look in a buggy next to us. Somebody's got something that would match my stepdad perfectly.
Okay.
He's the hard one to buy for.
Okay.
So we're looking around and we're like, this is what we need. And instead of stealing it from the buggy, because, people will do that,
Oh, yes.
you look for the abandoned buggies.
Oh.
The ones
okay.
where people have got a whole cart full of shit and they've put it off to the side. Like, either they ran out of money or they decided they didn't want it and they were too lazy to go put it back.
Or they're in the next aisle and you just don't see them.
No. We looked around. There was nobody.
They're like, oh, fuck it.
No, I like going to the front of the store where all of the shit that people didn't buy,
The
returns,
returns?
put in the buggy.
Yeah,
And
see?
I'm just, like,
That's the
looking
kind of
through
buggies
there.
I'm talking about.
Okay.
You find, like, the return buggies.
Okay.
And you make sure that they're return buggies.
Sure.
And you're like, all right, well, let's glance over these. So we did, and then we'd meet back up, and the friend would go off, or,
More reconnaissance.
Yeah, we just kind of, hey, they got this over here. Oh, hey, they got this over here. Cool. Well, I picked one up just in case. If we don't need it, set it down on a shelf.
Sure.
The stuff that you set on the shelf is also, making its way into the buggy because people aren't looking for it.
Right.
So, divide and conquer.
Okay.
Go early.
Okay.
Pick a good location.
Mm-hmm.
And look for the random strays that people have put in the cart and then put back, but not in the right spot.
It's probably worth noting it's always good to have a knife or something on you, too, just in case. I'm not saying you have to use it. No.
People get angry.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I bought DJ Melly Mel and our friend's Christmas present while they was with me. I went and got one present, went through the line, paid for it, put it in my trunk, locked the car, came back in, went and got the other one,
okay.
went through the line and paid for it, put it in the
We
trunk,
did the same thing.
came back in.
Now, I am curious, though, because I said that there was no hope for it, but I am curious. Do you think there is a way to do this if you have to fight a mob, like rushing through the door and all that kind of crazy shit? Is there a way? I mean, besides, like, wearing, like, a bunch of, like, football and hockey gear and shit and just hoping no one
checking
kills
elbows.
you? Yeah, you just get, like, a helmet and, like, I don't know, like, put shards of glass all over your hands and shit, and you just
Take
push.
a baby with you.
I don't think people would give a shit because I've watched videos of
No,
people
they trampled them babies.
snatching shit out of little children, like toddlers' hands and shit. So,
a few years back, I went to Walmart with my sister and them for Black Friday. And what I did was I had the regular buggy in front of me, and then I had two of the flat carts, and I put them on the side of me because they have the wheels that can roll either which way.
Right.
And then on the backside of it had my sister with another buggy, and we went through like that and had nobody near us.
See, that goes to that proves my theory of a wall to protect you. That's how you get shit done.
I had the whole scenario like what you was talking about. That's basically everything that I was thinking of, because I was like, I'm going into the sports field, so I'll get my defensive linemen to be around me.
Right.
And I'm an offensive lineman actually, because they good at pass blocking, so they just push people off, and then that's 3 of them, and then I got the other 3 would be 3 stars from the track team because they quick and fast, and then they would be the ones running, and I'd have at least one of them with a really good arm so that they can just like hail shit from across the store and knock people out, hit them.
I like the sports analogy thing we're going down.
Like I said, I got the pass blockers, I got the quickness, and most of the track team, the people on the track team are really small because they used to running, so they can nimble themselves in between everybody.
Maybe consider getting a pole vaulter too.
Yeah, see, look, the pole vaulter.
You know, they can just clear a couple aisles real quick.
Exactly.
Like,
and then if we at Walmart, they got the fishing poles that are the deep sea rods. They can pole up with the deep sea rods because they're not even big anyway.
Some equipment.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically, what we've surmised from this is pay a small high school sports team to help you go Black Friday shopping to ensure optimal shopping, experience.
I mean, shit. Even a D2 school like the one I go to,
Like,
they in college. They need a couple bucks,
Get some like scrappy ass like inner city school,
exactly.
Where like they just ghetto as fuck and they don't mind punching the shit out of the motherfucker and won't care.
Oh, Flint Central.
Right.
Well, like I said, the school that I go to,
cigarettes or something, they'll do it.
my college has a lot of inner city kids
exactly.
over there.
That's true.
So, be like, hey, Coach East, I need you to come with me. Let's go get this.
I'll cook you dinner.
Or, and this will be our final one. Or, I did play with this idea for a while, but I wasn't quite sure how it would work with one person. But if you're going to Walmart, you need to buy 3 things.
Okay.
A yellow, like, construction worker reflective vest.
Okay.
A pair of khakis.
And a blue shirt.
And you just get a pallet.
And
get
just
a pallet
start,
jack and just start putting shit on there and be like, oh, I'm taking this up to take out to a customer car or whatever.
Incognito.
Yeah,
there
you
you
can
go.
just, like, spy your way into that bitch. You can go in the back room and start getting shit. It's gonna be so busy, they ain't gonna know you fucking don't work
nah.
there. Just walk in there and act like you know what you're
make
doing.
your
You
own
can
little
work
homemade
there and
tag.
they don't know that you work there.
Just pick up or go buy maybe 4 things. Go buy one of them little price tagger things and just put one of them on your waist and just walk in the back room and they'll be like, oh yeah, he getting such and such for such and such. And
Oh, bro, you don't even need that no more. They got them bitches on your phone now.
Yeah, the guy scanned it.
Every time I needed a price check, I just walk up to one of them and they barcode scanner.
They got an app.
Oh yeah.
And
but no, I mean the thing that you actually physically
like
price
make
it
the
with.
price
Yeah.
tag.
So in that way you look like you kind of work there and you ain't just pull some shit, and just walk in there like you just run the place and nobody will question it.
No.
I mean, I wouldn't. I'd be like, hey man, they got some new people to help for Black Friday. I don't know, shit.
Seasonal help.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
They came from the
seasonal
warehouse.
Help, yes.
They came from the warehouse. They,
Hell yeah.
Here
And
to
then
help
just
us out.
park your car by the back door and then just start loading shit up in there. Nobody will question it.
Yeah.
You good to go.
And you know that they don't get trucks during Black Friday sales, but they got a truck before Black Friday.
They did.
So
They did.
you know that truck is still sitting back there with merchandise on it.
Probably.
I just give me one of them U-Hauls and pull it up
Oh,
to the back.
hell yeah.
I'll pull it up to the back of
Open
the
that bay door
yeah,
up and
open
just-
up the bay door.
You're throwing that
Cause
shit in
shit,
there.
you can pay for it on your phone now these days. So
Right.
you should be like, I paid for all of this.
Yeah, like, what you mean? Yeah. No, this is legit. No, I work here.
This is all damaged. I have to clear out the damage.
Oh, even better, yes.
Yep.
Even better, yep.
So it's usually start picking up shit that you like and be like, oh,
just pour some milk on it.
Be like,
oh,
I
they
need this
fucked all these
TV.
TVs up. Oh,
be like,
man.
I'm sorry, this is damaged.
That's
it's
where
broken.
the knife comes in that you was talking about. You just bust up the box real quick.
Yep.
Yeah, you ain't even got to damage the product, just
Hell yeah,
damage
just
the box.
Pull a little styrofoam out and some shit. Like, yeah, they fucked all this shit up.
Yep.
Yeah, man, we gotta just throw this in the
There's not even a
trash.
TV in here.
Right. Like, man, it's crazy. These people crazy on Black Friday, ain't they? Yeah, go ahead. I'll take care of this. Go.
Yep.
Keep in mind, One Giant Leap for Geeks does not condone theft.
Not by any means.
Just know that if you do probably any of the things that we've suggested, you are probably going to go to jail.
I don't know.
In a cop car.
I would say my idea was
Yours
lax.
was more practical. I feel like mine was more efficient. But you will probably go to jail and or get killed.
Yeah.
But if it's worth it to you, fuck it.
I'm gonna say my idea. You wouldn't go to jail. You just got pass blockers, and you got people. You got your own security.
That is true.
So
that's something you could do too. Dress yourself up like
security.
some incognito glasses and make yourself look famous, and then hire. Be like, these are my security.
Okay. But wouldn't that draw more attention to you, though?
There's kicker.
That's where all your other people come in, and they just go behind.
You got a friend that slips in with you, and while you're drawing the attention to yourself, they're rounding up everything, going through the line, and then...
So, babe, next year, you dress up as Kim Kardashian, I will go get the stuff, and we'll put some pillows in your pants, don't worry. Like, we'll make it
We'll get you the butt underwear.
All right, you ain't tan enough.
That booty pop.
There's like a multitude of reasons why you wouldn't be Kim Kardashian, but...
I'm broke.
They don't know that!
You gotta pretend like you got it.
But, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll make it work.
Get you a wig.
Exactly.
Hey, you go as Reba.
Yeah,
Reba.
That we might be able to pull out.
We can pull Reba off.
Not that old.
No,
Hey,
but that's
look.
what makeup is for.
Hey, makeup will make you get the wrinkles, and
You're
be
that
good.
old at heart, okay? So just think of it that way.
Alright.
But
Get you one of them the cucumber masks and shit.
yeah, sure. But for anybody listening out there, if you have your own Black Friday, special, incognito scenario that you have come up with, let us know. Send it to us on Twitter, because I would love to hear like what your guys' thoughts are for how you would get the best Black Friday haul, or what your thoughts. Yeah, or what your thoughts are on our suggestions. Like, do you think this would work? If you, I almost want to be like, make a poll, like, which one of these do you think would more than most likely get you put in jail and or get you some good shit?
Like, I gotta sell all my shit so that I can have some bail money.
Right. Or the way to win Black Friday, as Amber said,
Just stay home.
and
Wait till Monday. Order that shit online.
yeah.
That's what my little sister did. She ordered our shit from the Walmart website. She had to work that night, so she was like,
go ahead. I got this right here.
Because we were supposed to we picked her up from work, and we were supposed to bring her back to the Walmart that we had just went to. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, we got to go to Walmart. And she was like, oh, no, I just ordered it online whenever I was at work. All right, cool. Let's go home and grab then.
She's like, yeah, I already paid for all my shit. It's just coming in UPS. I ain't shit.
Yeah, straight
That's
to the
the
mail.
only thing about ordering stuff online. You got to make sure that people ain't gonna steal your
Yeah,
shit.
that is true.
I specifically had our stuff that I ordered, because I did order a couple gifts online.
Sure.
I made sure that they went to the office.
There
We
you
live
go.
we live in an apartment complex
There you go.
that's kind of shady,
Okay,
and
right.
I put it has said special delivery instructions, and I put deliver to office only.
Right.
And then I went in to let my office know, and they had a whole bunch of packages in there. They're like, oh yeah, people send it to our office all the time. I'm like, see?
They're going to put it outside the office and just leave. Like, no, motherfucker, in there. No. Oh, well, we didn't know shit.
Yeah, they're going to get there like 5:03, the office is closed and shit. We're like, all right. I delivered it to the office. You didn't say it had to be open.
Right. Sure. I did my part. Fuck it. All right, moving on. We're going to review Creed 2. If you have not seen the movie, don't fret. We are not going to spoil it yet. We will be spoiling it, but not right off the bat.
We'll let you know.
Yes, it will be very obvious when we're going to start going into spoilers. But basically, if you haven't heard us do a movie review before, basically what we're going to do, it's going to be mullet style. It's going to be, non-spoilers in the front, spoilers in the back. So we are, we have a rating system as well. And if you've never heard one of our episodes where we did a review, the rating system is as follows. From top to bottom, it's a 5-star rating system. It is really fucking liked it, meh, hated it, and really fucking hated it. It is degradations of like and hate because the internet is binary. Everything, you either love it or hate it. It's either the best thing ever or the worst thing ever, so it's somewhere in between those. So, that being said, we went and saw Creed 2. Now, if you haven't seen the first Creed, it is basically a continuation of the Rocky story, but now Apollo Creed's son, Adonis, now wants to become a fighter. Rocky begrudgingly starts to train him, and he goes on to fight the champ, but he loses in the first film. And he doesn't become the champion until the second movie.
Right.
It's at the very beginning of the movie, so don't worry, I'm not spoiling anything. That being said, just to give you like a quick synopsis, in 1985, Russian boxer Ivan Drago killed former U.S. champion Apollo Creed in a tragic match that stunned the world. Against the wishes of trainer Rocky Balboa, Apollo's son Adonis Johnson, his name isn't really Creed, but he just takes it for the show or whatever, for the fight. Adonis Johnson accepts a challenge from Drago's son, another dangerous fighter. Under the guidance from Rocky, Adonis trains for the showdown of his life, a date with destiny that soon becomes his obsession. Now Johnson and Balboa must confront their shared legacy as the past comes back to haunt each man. So overall, how did you feel about Creed?
I really like.
Well, you don't have to give a review or your rating just yet, but just overall.
I really liked the way that everything played out.
Okay.
I like the way that it was scripted.
Okay.
I like the way that it continues from the first Creed.
Yep.
I like that the cast is the same. So those are all really good,
Kevin Hart is Adonis Creed.
Oh, shit.
No.
No.
They have some supporting characters that would be awkward if they were somebody else.
Sure. Okay.
So I really like that the people that are the smaller roles, even though there weren't a lot of smaller roles.
Sure.
The ones that they casted, and I really enjoyed that they like his mom, they stuck with his mom, and they stuck with the same girl for his girlfriend, and the trainer that trained Apollo.
Mm-hmm. Well, his son. Yeah.
I like that. I like that they started with that, and I believe that the son was in the first one too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, and Sylvester Stallone has come back to reprise his role. In,
of course. Mm-hmm.
What this makes the 7th Rocky film.
8,
Rocky related.
I think this is 8.
Yeah, this is 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8th. Oh, I always forget Balboa.
Yeah.
But this is the 8th film that we've seen him in the role of Rocky.
Right.
Here at One Giant Leap for Geeks, we're very, very big on our nostalgia.
Mm-hmm. And
as we do, Rocky is nostalgia for most of us.
That's true.
Especially all of us here at the table. Mm-hmm. So I enjoy that they're still trying to make good movies that reach a little bit further and a little bit deeper than what Kim Kardashian ate for lunch today.
That's fair.
The Rocky films always did that. They reached deep, and then once they started making the Creed films, they also reached deep. Yeah. So
I will counter that, though, with after about Rocky 3, I think Rocky 4 is probably my favorite, but it is one of the more dumber ones, and he gets a fucking robot made in the movie.
This is true. So, I'm not saying that, But
no. It's still a good movie.
Storyline.
Yes. The story is good. The
storyline is what I'm talking about.
And all that,
not so much the aesthetics, but the storyline.
That's fair.
And if you look at a lot of new things today, the story itself is garbage.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I've always liked that Rocky means something.
That's fair. What about you, T-Money? What did you like about, or just, I guess, what did you feel about the movie?
Yeah, I liked it too. I'm really big on all the Rocky movies and everything. So, I liked DJ Melly Mel said. I liked how they kept all the same characters and everything. The supporting cast was all the same because to me it's just fucking stupid whenever you make
They recast it, yeah.
Like you recast in the middle of a series of shows, like that's just retarded. Because if I'm looking at Michael B. Jordan to be fucking Adonis, then if you got Don King coming in this motherfucker and like, oh, I'm fucking Creed now. No,
oh shit!
The fuck is going on?
Oh man,
like, who the hell is this?
Right.
But I like that they had the same cast. The storyline was good. I like the way it played out because, like, from the start to the beginning, to the end, and everything, that was really good. And there was something else that I really liked about it, but it would be on the spoiler section, so I'm gonna just leave that at that.
Okay. I enjoyed this movie more than the original, though I will admit the first film kind of has a little bit more heart to me. Like, it feels more personal, and this one felt a little bit more flashy and shit. Probably because he becomes a champ and he gets all this money and shit, and they're moving into this nice-ass house. And...
Well, I mean, it did the same with Rocky. The first two Rocky, he was not the champ. And then by 3, he's flashy, he's got the robot maid, he's, you know. So I can see where that would be.
Yeah. And he didn't have the robot yet in 3.
Yeah, it was in 4. But I know what you're saying.
He was getting there.
Right, they were making it still. But I as far as like the fighting, I think that the fight choreography in this is very well done. It feels like real, but yet it's still like a heightened reality and it's like cinematic.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like it felt like a real boxing match, but they still shot it and choreographed it in such a way to where it wasn't just like, oh, you know, he got a nice jab in there and then this, he did a little right hook.
We weren't just watching a boxing match.
Right. It was a movie, you know, but it wasn't like I love the Rocky movies, but my problem I've always had with the Rocky movies is I'm like, no human being could take as much punishment as Rocky does in those movies.
Right.
Because all they do, I don't think there's a jab thrown in not a single Rocky movie. It is just haymakers. Like, the whole movie, like, especially in Rocky 4, when him and Drago fight, it's just haymakers, one after another. It's just a montage, and it's like, okay, you would be brain dead by now. Which may explain kind of why Rocky still comes off a little dumb in this, but it felt like a real fight, but it was still enjoyable to watch, and like there was ups and downs and peaks and valleys, and it was suspenseful and shit like that.
Right. It wasn't too much of a real fight like Balboa, where you're basically
watching HBO,
watching a pay-per-view fight.
And shit. Yeah, it's just like one of the other things that I noticed that the soundtrack I think is really good.
Yes.
Like it's a lot of hip hop influence and shit. So if you don't like hip hop, you may not like the soundtrack, but. There was this Lil Wayne song at the very end during the credits that I really liked, and there was like songs throughout. Like there's during his training montage where he's out in the desert. There's a song that plays during that I really like too. And this isn't really a spoiler, but towards the end, they kind of like redo the Rocky song.
Yes.
Like it's like, you know, a little hip hop influence and stuff in there, which I thought it melded.
They did it well.
Yeah.
I liked that they had actual like real boxers in real life in the movie. Like Evander Holyfield was in it, Roy Jones Jr. was in it. Like they actually had people from the boxing community that was in it. So
I think that gave it like a sense of like, this is happening in the real world. Maybe not necessarily our world, but kind of having people who are actual boxers and that people recognize made it feel like, oh, okay, like, you know, this feels legit now.
Sugar Ray Leonard was in it.
See, I didn't even see him. Okay.
They were all there. And then they had, I forget, the guy that was doing the commentating. Like let's get ready to write. Yeah, that dude. The one that was.
Well, he's in it as well.
Yeah,
but
him too. But they had the guy. I don't know.
He has white hair too, though.
He's a younger, like, well, not younger, like a middle-aged white dude, and he does commentating on, like, he's on a show with Stephen A. Smith. on like the Sports Center and like First Takes. And
Yeah, he's
stuff
an
like that.
actual commentator.
Yeah, he's an actual
in
commentator.
real life. Yeah,
And they had him on there too, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool because like I watch him every day when I'm at school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it kind of brought like a personal touch for me,
right?
Because I was like, oh, hey, look, boxer. I liked that the guy that played as Drago was an actual boxer.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know that like
Victor. Yeah.
They just they did it really good with the casting and stuff.
Yeah. It goes back to what I said. Like it lends itself to being a little bit more believable when you have like actual people in it. And I liked that they didn't make a big deal about that. Like, oh, it's Evander Holyfield or whatever. Like,
right.
shit. They posing with each other and shit.
I mean, like you said, you didn't even realize the Sugar Ray Leonard was
exactly.
in the movie.
Yeah.
They just kind of like subtly threw him in there.
Mm-hmm. They in the audience cheering and shit or whatever, but they don't make a big deal. The camera don't just stop and he like winks at it and shit. Mike Tyson come out with some crazy shit. Like
biting somebody's ear off.
I also like that even though you can kind of feel like it's a real thing going on, even though it's a movie, you know that it's calling back to Rocky IV.
Yeah. They made a point to make a lot of callbacks, even to the point where like there's points where Adonis is watching the footage from the old movie where Apollo dies and stuff. So yeah.
That was a pretty neat.
I feel like this movie, more so than the original Creed, tied in more to the Rocky movies than Creed did.
I agree.
The first Creed kind of felt like it was part of the Rocky franchise, but not really.
And this ties it all in.
This feels like it belongs in the franchise more so than the first Creed did.
Even down to the credits.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like the way that they did the credits. And I'm not usually one that watches credits unless it's a Marvel movie.
Right.
But, and even then you're not watching the credits. You're waiting for the stingers.
Right.
But the display of the credits was very reminiscent of original Rocky or Rocky, the 4 originals.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cause 5's in there, but it doesn't count.
Yeah, we're gonna pretend that movie didn't happen.
So, like I said, the four originals.
Yeah. I think that now people make fun of the Rocky movies for this, and this has it too. So if you're not sure, I'm gonna tell you right now before you go see it. There are multiple training montages in this movie. Okay, so be prepared for that. They're not very long.
No,
but they're really fucking cool.
Yeah,
like there's some shit. Like I don't want to spoil it because when the moment happens,
you gonna know.
It surprised me, but they show it in the trailer, so I'll tell you part of it. But there's a moment where Victor is doing like push-ups and he like jumps up in the push-up. He does something right after that where I was like, God damn, this dude is big as hell to be that nimble and agile and shit. Like I was shocked because I'm like, I've seen people do like some of these workouts and shit before, but like how he combined them together.
Sure.
I was like, God damn, this dude is a fucking beast. Like he is not human. Like I don't know where they grew that dude, but he came out of a lab some fucking where because he is like scary. But there are like multiple training montages. But I think they play into the story a bit better than some of the other Rocky movies because I felt like in the other Rocky movies, not the first 2 so much, but the ones after that, the movie kind of stops to do like a training montage. But this one, there was still like story shit progressing at the same time, and it wasn't just like look at these muscles and shit. It was
Well, it's a different era.
Sure. Like, but I think they incorporated the training montages appropriately.
Absolutely.
Into this. I did like his relationship with his girlfriend.
Yes.
In this one, I felt like they could have gave her a little bit more to do.
Yeah.
Cause she's kind of in it for a minute towards the beginning, but then she kind of disappears for a while and then she comes back again. And I get it. Like the movie's not about her, but I always felt like, at least for the most part, that they always kind of focused on the Rocky movies about his relationship with Adrian.
Sure, and that was what
like
drove him.
Yeah, she was like his partner in everything.
Yeah.
Even though she's not in like every scene, but you always could feel her presence there. Rocky was either always referring to her or talking about it or something. Mm-hmm. In this, I like their relationship and it felt like a real relationship. Like,
oh yeah.
The scene when they're in the bathroom together and stuff like that, like it felt real, like I was like, I can buy this. there are some time jumps in the movie that kind of confuse me.
A little bit, yeah.
Because there's moments where, like, you find out one thing has just happened, and then you jump forward, and it's like, damn, how far do we skip ahead? Because there's a character who develops, you know, I'll say, and it's just, like, out of nowhere, and it's like, wait, how much fucking time has passed? Like, when you just, like, talking about taking a... Because, okay, this happens at the very beginning of the movie, so it's not really spoiling anything, but... Adonis beats the champ to become the champion at the very beginning.
Right.
And then Victor and Ivan come to Philly, and they're like doing a press conference and like calling him out. Like, oh, you know, you want to fight me, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. In the movie, it seems like he literally beat that dude up, got in his car, drove to get a Philly steak, and he's immediately getting challenged for another fight. And I'm like, but... in the timeline of the movie, I'm pretty sure that's like a few weeks later.
Yeah.
Or some shit. It's not like immediately
yeah,
after.
Yeah, because Victor and Ivan actually had time to come to America.
Right, and he had like some fights in Russia in between that he was doing when the promoter dude came and picked him up and all that. So I was like, it just felt like there wasn't a good establishment of like how much time was passing. Because in the movie, it seems like this all happened within like a week. But in the timeline of the movie, it was probably like a year or longer.
Right.
Because they were saying like, you know, there's a point that comes up where they're saying that Adonis needs to defend the belt. Mm-hmm. And, you know, if he doesn't pick a fighter, that he's going to lose the belt. There's a decent amount of time that passes before you have to, you know, give up the title if you don't fight somebody.
Right.
So when they kept saying it, I was like, oh, okay, so this has been like months now. So there was a little editing issues here and there that I was just kind of like, you're not really establishing a timeline here that I can follow. So that did bother me a little bit. I can say that there is no anti-Russian propaganda in this movie.
Yeah, I was actually surprised, especially with how our
relationship is with Russia currently. And I thought that would be an easy thing that they would go for, but they didn't.
And you know what's funny is when Rocky IV come out, we were big at war with, like, not war, but we really had issues with Russia. And now we still have issues with Russia. And they're not the same issues, but they're very similar.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're not on good terms with our
and so
Ruskies.
The fact that they didn't use any kind of anti-Russian propaganda, I almost like it more than what they did previously, because
they just pretty much made it, basically in Rocky IV, if you were Russian, you were evil in that movie.
I mean, they dated it a lot.
Yeah.
In the whole Cold War thing is very dated.
Yes.
And it's very present in the movie. Whereas in this movie, it is not quite so prominent.
No.
Not at all, actually.
No, because they don't make it about the country. They make it about the people. Yeah. You know, because in that one...
Even down to the way that the entrances come out in Rocky IV, you know, it was very... American propaganda, Russian propaganda. I mean...
Speaking of which...
Yeah.
They do something very, very similar.
They do.
In this. And I'll get more into detail about it in spoilers, but they pretty much, beat for beat, did the same intro from Rocky IV. But I'll explain later. But there's something that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, where I was like, y'all didn't have to do that. Like, I thought it looked cool,
and
but
see,
I
was kind of anticipating it. Like, I wanted it to be there.
Okay.
And I'm like, the way that it played out, it's not exactly how I'd pictured it.
Sure.
And I'm kind of okay with that. Like, I don't want it to be the same.
Yeah, he has
what
just a really moody, weird intro, and it's all dark and shit. And it's like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, I don't want it to be the same as what I was expecting, but had what I was expecting happened, that would have been cool too.
Okay.
So, I mean, it was cool both ways.
Okay.
I guess we'll go.
I am kind of bummed, because I did want Adonis at the end to be like, and if I can change, you can change, we all can change. No, I was like, that's not going to happen, but.
No, but like I said, there was a few things that I was kind of hoping would happen, and I will go more into them in spoilers.
Yeah.
But the fact that they didn't happen, I'm okay with that too.
Okay.
I was waiting for Yo Bianca.
Right.
I did it.
There are some characters that they bring back from Rocky 4 that I wasn't expecting to show up in this, that I was really like, ooh. And I wish they would have did more with that character, because they have a couple scenes, and something that they do towards the end is really powerful and says a lot about the relationship, that Victor and Ivan have and everything else, and about like why he kind of is the way he is. But I wanted more.
I want to say, if you're talking about the character that I think you're talking about, I knew that character was going to be in there.
See, I almost forgot about him.
I don't know how you didn't hear about that.
Okay.
But I knew that they were going to be in there somewhere.
Okay.
And so when they showed up, I knew before we saw who it was who it was.
And I just wanted more between them, just to kind of explain maybe like the reasonings for why they do what they do in the movie. But even as it stands, it was good enough.
Yeah.
But I just felt like, and another character, brand new, literally like from this movie, brand new.
Yep.
Comes up, and they do something with that character where I was like, I thought it would play more into the movie, but it doesn't.
Right.
And I kind of was like, this character should have been introduced at the beginning, and then our protagonist would have to learn how to deal with, accepting this character and communicating with this character in different ways throughout.
The only thing I can think of for that is that they have set this new character up for Creed 3.
You think so?
I think so. They kind of did it with Rocky.
Yeah.
They set that character.
Sure.
Or a character, not the same character.
Sure.
They set a character up. End of the first film. They were, kind of in and out in the second film.
Right.
And then they were prominent in third, fourth, fifth films. So they've kind of done a similar thing with this new character in Creed.
I agree.
Even though it's a different type of character.
I agree. I think, too, that this movie is a little bit faster paced. I think I really enjoyed the first Creed, but I think it's kind of slow. There's a lot of downtime in that movie. But this one, I think it has equal parts personal relationship stuff, character development, and, action and fighting. Like, there's not a lot of fights in the movie, but when they happen, they're exciting and powerful, and you can't wait to see the next one.
Right.
But, yeah, there are much more like, oh shit moments in this than in the first Creed. The first Creed was kind of not boring, but it's
little lackluster.
It's more like the first Rocky.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, the best way.
It's exactly like the first Rocky, where like in the first Rocky, he's a club fighter and he's a nobody and this and that, and then they play it, and then it slowly progresses.
They gotta build him up.
Well, in the first Creed, he's a kid, and then they gotta show how he has his anger issues, and then they gotta show how he just progresses through the movie, and then they gotta, he has to try to convince Rocky to train him and all of this, that, and the other, and it's just like the first ones are always slower because you gotta build up to them actually becoming like the good fighter that he is.
Right.
And then the second one, he's already a fighter and he's already boxing and everything. You just wham bam, thank you, man, we here.
One of the things that I was concerned with, which I still felt like they didn't follow through with completely, like symbolically they do, but I still feel like Rocky and Adonis are still fighting for whose movie this really is.
Yeah.
'Cause remember when we talked about the trailer, I had said the one thing I was worried about with this movie was that it wouldn't feel like Adonis's movie, and it still feels like a Rocky movie with Adonis in it.
Right, right.
And there's something that happens symbolically that shows, hey, we are kind of like a passing of the torch type thing.
Uh-huh.
But even by the very end, there's still some plot threads that Rocky's character is wrapping up simultaneously while Creed is wrapping up some plot threads of his own.
Right.
And they're kind of just like cutting back and forth between the two. And I'm just like, is this or is this not his movie now? I'm like, because yeah, that's cool. I'm glad you resolving some shit in your personal life and all that, but I don't really care at this point. Like, I've seen
35
8
years
movies
of Rocky,
with you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, can this be his thing now? Like, I almost wanted Rocky to just be like a ghost. and he's just like a figment of like Adonis's imagination or something. But okay, let's go ahead and give our ratings so we can talk spoilers.
Well, the ghost part you was talking about just now before we get to the
Sure.
Like, it could have been like how they brought like the memory back of Mickey to Rocky.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like,
I was worried that they were gonna do that too, but I was just like, I'll see how this plays out, because when Rocky first shows up, and when he's getting ready to fight after he's talking to Bianca or whatever, he's asking about his hair or some shit like that. I was just like, is he a ghost right now? I was like, is he dead?
He was like, "Get up, you son of a bitch!"
Rocky loves ya.
But yeah. So go ahead. Ratings. What would you give your rating on this thing?
I really fucking liked it. Like I said, I liked it better than the first Creed. I actually liked it better than a couple of the Rockies. Like I liked it. Like I'm excited for part 3. I don't even know if they're making a part 3, but I'm excited for the part 3.
I'm sure they're making a part 3.
I'm sure, but
the way they ended it.
But yeah, I'm excited for it. I was excited for this one, and I'm excited for the next one.
Okay. What about you, Mel?
Yeah, I don't know if I really fucking liked it, because I'm very particular about how many of those I hand out.
Okay.
But I really enjoyed this movie, so I really liked it.
Okay.
It lived up to the hype that it had.
Okay.
I know that was something we were all concerned about, whether
Yeah.
whether it was just going to be, a trailer hype, or whether it was actually going to be a good movie. And I really do think it was a good movie. It's something that people who know the Rocky story, people who have seen Creed #1,
sure,
they'll be able to follow, even if it's maybe not necessarily easy for them to follow movies. I have a particular person in mind when I say that. So I think that it'll be enjoyable for them. They'll be able to catch on easy enough. Like, the story moves quickly, but it does move slow enough that you can kind of process it in between each scene.
Right. I agree.
So I really liked it.
I think I'm somewhere in between the both of you. Like, I am not quite really fucking liked it, but not quite liked it. I'm gonna go with liked it, though, because I did enjoy the movie. There are parts that kind of rub me a little bit the wrong way, and I felt like I said, I feel that the first movie is a better movie. Like, and I'm talking
Sure.
like, character study, like all the like film shit. It's like,
Right.
it's more of a
Film school.
yeah. Like if someone's gonna win an Oscar, I would say the first Creed over the second Creed.
Right.
Because I feel like this one felt more like a traditional sports fighting movie, which is fine.
Which is why I liked it so much.
Yeah, which is fine the way it is. But that being said, I still think that technically, Creed is a better movie, but I enjoyed Creed 2 more.
Yeah.
But overall, like I said, cinematography, the fight choreography, the soundtrack, I like the character progressions, I like the setup and the way the story plays out. But, yeah, I'll just stick with liked it.
No, okay.
So, now that we got the ratings out of the way, we are going to do spoilers.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
They didn't kill off Rocky like I wanted them to. I wanted that motherfucker to be dead, alright? Because I want Creed to have his own movie. It's never gonna feel like his movie as long as we keep drudging up Rocky shit. They brought up so much of his, he's still going to the cemetery and talking to Adrian, and he still can't get his relationship with his son figured out, and all this other shit. He's still living in the same apartment from the original movies and shit. And I'm just like, okay, enough. A lot of that screen time we could have been using for establishing Victor's character.
Right.
Because honestly, I feel like
I would have liked to see a little bit more of Victor's character.
I feel like he was the most interesting character of everybody in the movie.
Sure.
I wanted to know more about his backstory. I wanted to know more about his relationship with Ivan, his mother, all that kind of shit like that. That was a more interesting story to me than, I'm mad because you killed my daddy. I'm like, that was cool, But even with that, I felt like Adonis's reasoning for why he wanted to fight Victor was kind of convoluted because, okay, in the first movie, the whole thing is about him coming out of his father's shadow, being his own person, and being his own fighter. Right? But halfway through this movie, when Rocky's like, well, you never told me why you wanted to fight him, he was like, well, I was just afraid, living up to these expectations and this, that, and the other. It's like, I thought you got over that in the first movie. Like, how?
He tried, he just failed.
I feel like he regressed and went backwards some as a character, and that rubbed me the wrong way.
I'm kind of with you, though. I would really, we all know that Adonis is Creed's son. We all know this. We all know that Rocky helps Adonis. We all know that Adonis has got the girlfriend and the mom, and we really don't know anything about Victor other than the opening credits where they're just like, boom, bam, training session.
Right.
And I'm with you. I'd have liked to see, they could have flashed back to, I don't know, 82 and, little kid.
Sure.
The mom's there and Ivan's lost and the little kid is like,
yeah, I would have
liked
a flashback to the mother leaving them, and what that did to him and how that shaped, his view of the world and shit like that. Adult.
They mention it.
Yeah, but they don't.
But they don't show it. No. And a picture's worth 1,000 words. So you give us a couple of frames and.
Yeah, I could have lived with that. Yeah. Or just, I wanted him to confront her.
I was actually expecting it to start out more building his backstory. They could have ran it parallel. Like I said, they have the footage from the Rocky IV. Mm-hmm. Once Drago leaves the ring with Rocky, what happened to get him to this point?
Yes.
Where he's with his son. Yes, they live in a shitty apartment. Yes, they live in a shitty neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Yes, his wife has left him. But how? Yeah. How did that... I wanted more from Drago. I wanted more from Drago's background, and we didn't get that. Not that I'm saying that Drago's character was underplayed.
Sure.
But I wanted just a smidgen more from...
I was impressed with the fact that the guy who plays Victor, because he's a boxer in real life, I thought he was actually a pretty decent actor.
Oh, yeah.
For him to be not an actor to start, I was like, he actually was pretty good.
Yeah, he was.
He's got one of them natural personalities.
Yeah. Yeah, now, he doesn't say a whole lot in English, at least, but...
Well, neither did Drago.
True.
He was in Rocky IV.
Which I found so hilarious, because that guy is German in real life, and he had to teach him how to speak Russian and everything else, which, it could be terrible, because I don't fucking speak Russian, so I don't know if he's doing a good job or not, but it came off good to me.
He might already know Russian.
Maybe.
And it was the English that was hard for him. That could be why he didn't have a lot of English lines.
Perhaps.
Because his Russian seemed very
fluent.
He knew at least the basis of what he was doing. Whereas the English was small, easy words where, he didn't really have to think about it much, but he did, does that make sense?
Yeah. I did think it was funny that Ivan, I swear, either his English has not improved over these last 30 some odd years, or he just likes the word break. Because he said that shit, you must break him. He said that shit so many times, break him again. And I'm like, we get it, man. That was your line from the first movie. But I kind of did want to see Victor or somebody said, if he dies, he dies.
I was waiting for somebody to say it. I was waiting for it. There were so many things, Easter eggs, if you will, that from Rocky IV that I really wanted to happen in Creed 2.
I think it would have been a little bit too on the nose, but
sure.
I would have liked to seen it, though.
Yeah.
I wanted to see, y'all was talking about how y'all wanted to see Drago's, Victor's, part to be more explained and stuff.
Yeah.
I wanted to see more of how it played out when he got kicked out of Russia. Kind of, because he was in a whole other country and everything. Mm-hmm. They didn't even want him in Russia at all.
They outcasted the fuck out of him.
Yeah. And I just kind of wanted to see how that played out, because he was just a kid when it happened. Mm-hmm. So that's what I wanted to see more of with his character. And like you had said, I just, with him and the mom. I wanted to see what happened if she just outcasted both of them at the same time, or if the relationship between her and Ivan was so bad that eventually over time she just left both of them. Like, I just wanted to see more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
agree.
wasn't the kid's fault that Ivan
Exactly.
lost.
That's why I was surprised at how kind of like cold she was towards Victor, because I was like, that's your son. Like,
Right.
fuck all this, fame and fortune and all this other bullshit. That's your baby. Like,
Some
she was
people-
cold-blooded in the motherfucker.
I'll say some people can't look past that
I was
though.
about to say she was still cold-blooded in this one. So,
And
like,
can we
Yeah.
talk about how they all looked rough as fuck?
oh my
yeah,
god,
yeah, but they
look,
old though, man. I mean,
But
these motherfuckers
she
ain't young
looked
no more.
rough.
but
Yeah, she
like they
did.
looked way worse than
Ludmilla is her name. Ludmilla Drago, or was
Yeah.
Drago.
like her and Ivan both looked way worse than Rocky did.
Yeah.
And Rocky looks bad, but he
Rocky
don't-
does look
Right,
bad.
he don't
right,
look
right.
nearly as bad as the Russian.
no.
Yeah, he
Good
done beat
God.
cancer and everything, and he still looks bad.
I knew though from like the beginning of the movie that there would be two fights.
Yeah,
Because the first fight happens in like,
Like
the
a half
first
hour.
act of the movie.
Sure.
I don't even think it was that long. It was like 10 minutes.
no, I'm
and
talking about like after the whole fight was done and everything. It was like a half hour,
Yeah.
20 to 30 minutes, and I was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, I was like,
They
because
gotta have
when he
that
was
whole-
like, "Oh, tonight's the night," and they're all getting it all hyped for the fight. I was like, we got like another hour and a half of movie left to go. I
Yeah.
was like, God, I was like, okay, he's gonna lose this fight, and then he's gonna have to fight him again.
I kind of figured that they were gonna have two fights, not based off of the, how quick the other one come about, but I had heard talking about how they were going to reference Rocky 4, and they were going to reference Creed. There was two fights in Rocky 4 where Creed loses the first one with his life,
yeah.
and then Rocky has to come in and defeat the Russian and
Right.
move on and progress everything. So I knew it was coming. Like, obviously they're not going to kill off Adonis in the first fight.
No,
So he was outliving his father for the first one.
that's true.
But you knew that
Just barely, but yeah.
you knew that second fight where somebody had to come in and reclaim things, you knew it was going to happen.
They kind of had to reset his character and put him back as an underdog again.
Right. You had to kind of put him,
Even though
put him
he
back
doesn't,
in his place.
he loses the fight physically, but because Victor hits him
After
in,
he's
like,
down.
Yeah, when he's down,
He-
he gets disqualified
Right.
and shit.
yeah.
But I like that because that fucked with Donnie more psychologically.
Oh yeah,
Because it was like, oh well,
the crowd said that
I technically won, but I know that he beat me.
he
I was
beat
about
the
to say,
shit
it
out of him.
reminded me a lot of at the end of Rocky 1, the beginning
Yeah,
of Rocky 2,
yeah.
when the people were like, "Oh, you're not the champ because you went all 12 rounds with Rocky," and
Right,
like
right.
it reminded me a lot of that.
Yeah,
Is it just me, or did anybody else like clench their side?
Oh,
when he
yeah.
broke
Oh my
his fucking
God.
And
ribs?
he broke
Yeah.
both sets of ribs.
he broke them, and I'm like,
He does it twice
Oh.
in both fights, and I was like, "Fuck, man!" Like that's what said the fight choreography was so good in this because
you heard the crunch.
yeah, I don't know if it was like the acoustics in there. Or
Oh, that
what, but
could have
when he
been,
got
too.
hit. Oh my God, that shit like reverberated through my chest, and I was like, Jesus Christ!
I'm like counting my ribs
Shit,
over
even
here.
when they was just before the fight, like whenever they in the locker room, and
He was, like, hitting his
they're
gloves
hitting
together?
the gloves
Yeah.
together, and you're like, "Damn, man, this about to be a good fight."
yeah, 'cause I
That's about
swear,
to hurt the fuck.
I was like, man, because
Or like even whenever they would connect with a solid right hook or
Right.
just like a solid punch in general, you're like, damn man, that hurt.
Can we appreciate the fact that they didn't like smear their face?
they did.
Well, not as much as
No, it wasn't. It wasn't obnoxious like in Rocky.
Yeah,
4,
yeah,
Where, like
that's
I said, that whole movie's just haymakers.
That's what I mean. Like,
Slow
can
motion.
we appreciate that they showed the face moving,
Yeah,
but not like
they only did it once. They did it once for Donnie, and they did it once for Victor, but they didn't
Yeah.
do it like over and over and over.
yeah,
again.
it wasn't like
That
a 40-second face shift where it's just like, all the way across.
And I like how far the makeup has come since back in the day.
Oh
because,
my god, yeah.
Even after the fight, he looked fucked up, but it still didn't look as bad as, like,
when Rocky was fucked up.
When he was fucked up, he had all the big old bruises and stuff like that. I mean, Adonis had, like, the cuts and everything, but he wasn't, like, overwhelmed with it. It didn't look like he was just a walking bruise,
That's why I said that's what my problem with the Rocky movies are, is that if somebody got beat up the way Rocky did once, you'd never fucking fight again. They wouldn't allow you to fight no more. They'd be like, no, man, you are dead to us now. I get why they had Ivan throw in the towel. It was a nice callback to the original Rocky IV, and it was kind of poetic. But I still wanted him to fucking knock his ass out.
Hell yeah.
The fact that he never knocks Victor out. He knocks him down a couple times, but he never knocked him out. That's what I wanted to see. And the fact that didn't happen kind of bothered me. Like that.
I really thought that Rocky was going to be the one to throw the towel, though.
I thought that first fight he would.
Because the way that they played it out.
But he doesn't show up for the first fight. So.
Right. He was eaten alive because he didn't throw in the towel. And
or at least if they'd had a moment, especially that moment when Donnie goes down and he has to like get himself like back psyched up and shit, and he's like punching the back.
Yeah.
Like I thought that'd be the moment, like right before he realized, he's gonna get back up again. Like he was considering throwing it in. Like that would have been a good little moment.
In between the rounds, whenever he couldn't breathe because his
right.
He took that big deep breath and he's like all wheezing.
Yeah.
I do like how they brought the mom back into the story.
That's what I was referring to earlier when I couldn't really go into it.
Yeah.
The moment she realizes that Victor's gonna lose and she just gets up and walks out, I was like, damn, that's some cold-blooded shit. And then he looking out there for her and shit, and she gone, and I was just like, damn, that's fucked up.
Okay, so we talking about a different mama. I'm talking about Creed's
mom.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I do like what you was talking about though with the Russian mom.
Yeah.
But like I was talking about like how they moved to LA.
Yeah.
And then they have to tell the mom.
Oh my god.
He's gonna fight Victor and shit, and she guesses that she's pregnant.
Yeah.
She's right.
He's
like, I don't care that you peed on it. I just want to see.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was good.
When she takes a big glass, she's like, "Oh, you're pregnant." No, Mama ain't pregnant. Takes a big old glass of the wine, and Mama just looks at her with that Claire Huxtable look, and she just spits it back in her cup, like.
Yeah, she was like, "Bitch, you pregnant."
But like at the end, whenever when Adonis's mom goes to the fight with Bianca, and they're in the audience and stuff, and she. Like, you just know that she's like, last time I was at a fight, my fucking husband died. Like,
Yep,
and then,
that's true.
like, the look on her face whenever Adonis first gets hit and Bianca stands up and was like, protect yourself! And she was like, whoa, okay. I don't think you...
Like, damn, bitch.
Well, I mean, she did with Creed, too. With, Apollo. When Apollo was fighting. I mean, towards the end of the fight, obviously she got real concerned, but... In the beginning of the fight, she had her arms up and she was kind of moving her shoulder and she's like, get him, Apollo, get him,
Yeah, because in Rocky IV, when he first fights Ivan, Apollo, he's like, oh, this is gonna be a cakewalk. Like, I'm gonna beat the fuck out. He dancing around the ring, talking shit. Here we go. So, the moment that really rubbed me the wrong way is they redo that shit that they did, because like I said, he comes out all cocky and talking shit. James Brown is in Rocky IV, and he sings "Living in America" and all that shit. And Apollo comes out to that. And this
dancing around the red, white, and blue.
And this, he's got like the Uncle Sam hat on and shit.
And all the dancing girls.
Right, I think it's in Vegas
the
too.
The fireworks. Yep.
In this,
Creed comes, or
he
Apollo
goes to Russia to fight him, and his
Not
wife.
Not in the first fight.
No, in the second fight. But his wife, who's a singer, she comes out singing with him, and all I can think of, I'm like, this is that James Brown moment from Rocky IV. It doesn't have the same vibe, and you don't get the same effect, but I'm like, you're doing that same gag again, and I didn't care.
He kind of did it in the first fight, too. She didn't sing with him, But he come out and the lights were flashing and
Yeah, but this is how boxers come out
Yeah.
now. So I was used to
but
that
like,
because Drago had fire and
the
all
girls
this shit.
were all
Yeah.
dancing and
Sure.
the song was not coming or living in America, but it was something very similar.
Sure,
You know,
sure.
it had that poppy
Shit talking.
and
yeah.
the flashing lights and he was all cocky and he's like, hey, you know.
Like I said, it doesn't detract from the movie per se. Just me, it kind of just rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like that. I was like, I could have did without that.
Okay, so I liked how when they found out that the second fight was gonna be in Russia, they kind of play homage to how Rocky went to train in Russia in like hell, basically, you know.
Yeah.
And they bring they bring Adonis to this like random ass. I think it was probably Nevada or something, and it's hot as hell, and they in the middle of the desert, and like
Yeah,
just-
you know that shit wasn't in Philly.
Oh
No,
my God,
hell no.
hell no, that wasn't. But like, and it's just all these random ass like underground.
Didn't it just look like a
boxers and
bunch of
fighters.
fucking motherfuckers from prison and
Yeah.
shit? I
Yes,
was like,
exactly.
are you sure they fighters and we ain't just break them out the joint or
Yeah,
some shit?
hell
I'm like, cause they all look like they
Saying
grew
quit in
up,
prison, baby.
grew up in prison, like from
Hell
birth.
yeah. And he was
I was
like,
born
we,
here.
Yeah.
we got to bring you to hell so you can learn how to be a different fighter, and he sure the hell does. Cause
Yeah.
like,
There's some shit
He
they do
got
in that training
swole
montage.
in this movie.
Yeah, like Michael B. Jordan, man, they had him doing some shit. Okay, so
the neck.
yeah. So like you said, I like the parallels between Rocky IV and this, where Rocky went and he trained in the snow and ice and shit, but in this one they got him out in the desert and in the heat and all that.
Yeah.
So I liked how they did that. But yeah, there's an exercise, and I'm like, what are you working out when you doing this?
Working that trap sometimes.
He's sitting there and he has like a net of leather on his head, which are attached to chains, which are then attached to weights at the bottom.
It almost looked like the head set up for the electric chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like fucking what is that shit Professor X uses to like read minds?
Cerebro.
Yeah, Cerebro with a weight at the end, and he was just like lifting his head up, and I'm just like,
And then he got these plates
how is this
on
helping
him.
you to get better fighter? I was kind of, I'm like, is he gonna punch you in a trap? And you're gonna be like, I was like, it looked cool, so I was like, whatever. And then they had the part where he's on the pull-up bar and Rocky's hitting him in the
Yeah.
stomach with the medicine ball and shit. And I was like, that's fucked up. And I think that was like to, strengthen his core so he
Yeah.
could get used to them body
I
shots.
want to say, I just
But that
kept
Rick
thinking,
Cage, he couldn't do shit for that.
Or whenever he had to put his foot in that tire and just get the hell beat out of him with that other boxer, like shadow boxing, you know?
Yep.
And he was getting shit beat out of him. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, that's what I said. The training montages in this are actually really good.
Yeah.
I just wish though that they would have played more, because they had a good opportunity to set up something between like the differences between Victor and Adonis, because Adonis is the son of Apollo Creed.
right,
His mom got money, she lived in a big ass house and all that shit.
Right.
Adonis, he comes off like he's from the streets and shit, but he come from money.
right.
Like he ain't.
Essentially.
Yeah, like he ain't like no hood ass, like, oh, I'm from the streets and all that shit. He come from money. Victor, it come from some thug life shit. Like that was some like for real.
That's what I
down in
mean.
the dumps.
I really wanted to see more of that.
And I wanted them to kind of play on that class struggle between them, like, like, oh, I want this more than you. I deserved it. I come from nothing, and look at how far I done climbed up the ranks, this, that, and the other. Like, you had everything given to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got money, you got connections to good trainers, you got Rocky in your corner and
Right.
shit. It's like you got everything working for your benefit. Whereas me, I have nothing.
I got the Russian dad that lost to Rocky.
Exactly. And like he was
failed
just,
the whole country.
right, going off his sheer force of will and shit like that. And I was just like, I wish they would have done something with that,
yeah.
but they don't.
No.
And that kind of bothered me. Is it just me though, or did you guys think it was weird that Rocky's grandson answered the door?
No.
No.
Because every time in movies when like a young child comes to the door and they're like, hello, who are you? I'm like, where the fuck is your parents at right now? Like, anybody can just kidnap your little
Bro,
ass
that
and
was
ran off.
us growing up though. Like
I
we
was
answered the door. It was like, hey, what's up?
Our niece flat out walks out to people that pull in the driveway. So she had so much sass at 7. She walked up to a cop car and she's like, what you doing in my yard? So, I mean,
Yeah, she walked up to this cop. The cop was pulling around, just pulling into the driveway to turn around.
Sure.
And she's in the yard playing, and she runs over there, and she's like, "Hey, who are you?" He's like, I'm a police officer." She's like, "Well, I don't know you. Get out my yard."
yeah, she's like, what you doing in my yard? And she was like 6 or 7.
So that was
You must be
growing
lost,
up.
boy.
Little kids opening the door.
That was us growing up. Like, we opened the door. It didn't matter.
Can we try to find where they found this kid that looks like Adrian?
Oh,
though?
Yeah, he
God.
looks a lot
Like-
like, yeah.
Like carbon copy of Adrian.
Yeah, he
that
was like,
was
you look just like your grandmother. He's like, no shit, he does.
that was crazy. I'm like, I don't know what kind of casting director you got, but bravo, cause
And kudos to they got Milo to come
Milo.
back. Yeah, because he plays Rocky's son in Balboa, and they both got the little droop lip and
Yep,
shit.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I was like, yep, I remember you.
yeah,
I mean, overall, I did enjoy the movie. I am looking forward to what comes next in the franchise. Somebody said this when we were walking out, and I was like, oh my god, that's the perfect third movie.
right.
Next movie, Adonis Creed fights Mr. T's son
Oh hell,
from Rocky 3.
Oh hell,
There you go. Just imagine somebody saying that line
Clubber
that Mr. T
Lang.
says. Yeah, Clubber Lang's son. There you go. That he says to Rocky. He's like, come on, woman. I'll show you real man, woman. Like, oh my God. Like, that.
Or coming out of nowhere, be like, "I beg a fool."
I want to see
my
that
mama
so
hits
bad.
hard than that. You be alright? Come on.
I want to see that so bad. They're not going to do that. I mean, Lord knows what's going to happen in Creed 3 or Creed/Rocky 3, whatever the fuck they're going to call it.
I don't know. It might finally be Creed 3 because he did have that whole minute where he's just like, go enjoy the spotlight.
Yeah, he's like,
go-
it's your time
go,
now.
Yeah,
you
Rocky
know.
just
He puts on his
sits-
hat. and
He
sits
kind of
there.
fades back a little, so they might.
And that's why I said it didn't feel like Creed's movie, because I felt like that should have been the last we saw of Rocky for the rest of this franchise.
Yeah.
Maybe, okay, sure, if you want to put him in the next one, but for the rest of the movie, he should have been done.
Yeah.
But you have that moment where Adonis is taking his family to go see, Apollo's tombstone, because I don't know if he's never been there, if he just hasn't been there in a real long time. But, it's this, like, sweet moment where he's, like, coming and saying, like, like, thank you, and this, that, and the other.
Right. He's ate his humble pie, and now
Right. He's telling him about, like, oh, I, accomplished this or whatever, and, for your memory, yada, yada. But then they keep cutting back to Rocky, like, oh, you look like your grandmama, and this, and the other. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Your story is done. Like, you've had your chance to do all this shit. That's why I was just like, I don't know. Like, they just need to get him out of this movie.
I'm about to say Creed 3. He's gonna die of cancer. Remission is gonna. He's gonna.
And
die.
then, like you said, he's gonna be Mickey's ghost and shit.
You know,
He'll be shadow boxing Rocky
I think
Ghost.
in part, when they do the third one, that they'll have the trainer who trained them, the son of
Apollo's trainer.
of Creed's trainer. He should be the trainer that takes him over full time, and they go from there.
I agree. Because I don't ever feel like it's ever gonna be, Michael B. Jordan's movie as long as Sylvester Stallone is in it.
Right.
Like, it's not.
Yeah, nah.
You can have callbacks and flashbacks and all that shit if you want to, but he needs to not be in the movies anymore.
I don't know why they were freaking out about the baby not being able to hear.
Yeah.
In this day and age with all the prosthesis and all of the,
Yeah.
like, I get that as a first-time parent, you'd kind of be a little scared for your kid.
Sure.
Any kind of major medical thing, but
Yeah, Donnie,
As
he was
it-
acting like it was the end of
it
the
was
fucking
like
world.
the end of the
shit.
world.
Yeah.
And Rocky asked him, he's like, "So are you gonna love her?" Of course I'm gonna love her. Well,
Right.
then why
Shut
is
the fuck
this...
up, go being a bitch.
Right? Why is this a big deal?
Yeah,
You
but
know?
he's like, she ain't in there feeling sorry for herself. He's just like, she don't need you to be doing it either.
Right.
And I was like, yeah.
And the good thing is, even though the baby was deaf and everything, she has good parents that can teach your ASL, because I like that Creed Adonis learns ASL from the first one to the second one, because in the second one, when she's in the audience and she does the ASL to him and she's like, "Did you take a shit?" He's like,
yes. That part was really funny.
Yeah,
I did think it was a lot more jokes in this one than it was in First Creed.
Yeah.
Because the First Creed feels just so dark and dour. This one felt more upbeat and like fun.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, continuing in the saga spirit, that's kind of what they did with Rocky too.
Sure.
So
that's fair.
They're building the movies very, very similar.
Mm-hmm. That's what I said. Mr. T, third movie.
Mr. T even still alive.
Yeah. Matter of fact, just have Michael B. Jordan fight Mr. T in the third movie. Bring his ass back out of retirement and
I would
shit.
say a young
I pity the fool.
Young CG Mr. T.
Hell yeah, shit. But no, I would say if you're thinking about going to go see Creed 2, go see it. It is a very good movie.
Absolutely.
Support it, see it in theaters, hopefully they make another one, but and this just further cements in my mind that Michael B. Jordan is a really good actor. Like, I mean, from his role and fucking Black Panther as Killmonger to this, and he's been in a few other things I've liked him in as well, like Fruitvale Station and the First Creed as well. But I want to see him get more shit, and I think he can definitely hold his own. Like I said, I just feel like they're kind of just holding his hand by having Rocky still be in it, and like they just need to just let this just be his franchise now.
Yeah, they need to let it be his time.
Yeah. Your time now, kid.
Mufasa can die off. Raise up the Simba and let it be, because
he lives on through you.
Right. Right.
Anyway, kids, thank you again, T-Money, for coming and doing this review with us.
Oh, yeah,
we had fun, as always.
We have to make sure we thank Amber next time we see her, too.
Right. That is it for the show, kids. Remember, you can always find us at our home, onegiantleapforgeeks.libsyn.com, or you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. Make sure to show us some love, so go ahead and like, subscribe, rate, follow, review, and all that shit.
And if you have any comments, criticisms, questions, you just want to say hi, you can always email us at officialoglfg@gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter at giantleap4geeks. And we're on Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, Pinterest. All you have to do is search One Giant Leap for Geeks. Alright, you guys have a good night. Bye.